Imagine making it to the Super Bowl, making it there 2 years in a row, and then losing not once but twice. What test of spirit? What happens to heart? Do tough times make tough teams? After the first 4 weeks of this season, the Buffalo Bills were perfect. By week 11, they'd only been stopped twice, perhaps the class of the league. For evidence of Bills' power, week 2 in the West. Buffalo's 34 points beat one of the NFL's elite, the 49ers, confirming the Bills' boast of best in the AFC. But things have changed in the last 2 weeks. The high-powered offense misfired in losses to the Colts and to the Jets. Suddenly, the Bills search themselves, looking for winning answers. The Bills' late-season charge begins today against the same team that almost stopped them in last year's AFC Championship. Denver held them to just 10 points. Imagine making it to the Super Bowl, a player's ultimate goal. Can the Bills keep that dream alive for number 3? This is the Bills' dream house, Rich Stadium, where they've lost only 5 times in 5 years. These two teams, the Broncos and Bills, have represented the AFC in the Super Bowl 5 of the last 6 years. Now in the AFC West, the Denver Broncos, without Elway, losing 3 in a row, have dropped a full game behind Kansas City. In San Diego, a loss today would be devastating to their playoff hopes. Buffalo, meanwhile, has a game lead on the Miami Dolphins, but remember, the Bills still have to play at New Orleans next week and in the finale of the season at Houston. So they, too, need a win. And a win combined with a loss by either of those teams in the left-hand column, Cleveland, Houston, San Diego, or Kansas City, would give Buffalo a playoff spot for the big prize. Hello, everyone. Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy. Lots of snow here in the east, but they've done a great job in clearing the field. A light mist, temperature just above freezing. It should not be an excuse for any bad play today, Bob Trumpy, nor an excuse for Marv Levy. Marv Levy's been here a short amount of time, but if he wins today, it'll be number 71. He'll be the winningest coach ever in the franchise's history.
But, Dick, he's got to be nervous. This is a very difficult football team to judge how well they're prepared for a particular opponent. There are a lot of superstars on the Buffalo Bills. It's basically their responsibility as players to get themselves up. Levy has little or nothing to do with the emotion of this football team. It can't make him comfortable.
And Denver with 2 very young quarterbacks filling in for Elway. Dan Reeves on the other sidelines. Is this going to be the last season for him in Denver?
Well, I know there's a lot of conversation. To me, it seems incomprehensible. And for the last 6 conference championship games, the Denver Broncos have been there. Dan Reeves has gotten them there. His defensive coordinator, Wade Phillips, has had a history of being with coaches with good records without contracts at the end of the season. He says, I don't like it. It doesn't work. They generally don't stay.
And for the Buffalo Bills, they've made a major change, an all-pro linebacker moving inside today.
He becomes more of a menace to the Denver Broncos offense. Bennett takes over the inside spot. Now he can roam from side to side and be an even bigger factor in this Buffalo defense.
The Denver Broncos will receive Steve Christie, acquired from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year, and has done a solid job. Roots it out of there toward the windy end, and it carries well to Alton Montgomery, who will take the touchback, kneel down, and the 20-yard line. The Denver offense, you'll see Tommy Maddox, number 8, on one play. The next play, it'll be Sean Moore at quarterback. And here are the men who will protect them, and watch Russell Freeman, the rookie, Jeff Davidson on the left side. They'll have to contend with Bruce Smith, Kartz, Wydell, and Lanier, the veteran, complete the offensive front. Maddox and Moore with Reggie Rivers and Greg Lewis for the injured Gaston Green. Johnson Jackson, the outside receivers. Clarence Kay, a tight end. Shannon Sharp has 38 catches, the younger brother of Sterling. We'll see him as the H-back. Jeff Alexander in a surprise starts, or is it Lewis? It is Lewis, who takes a couple of yards out to the 23-yard line where Talley and Patton make the stop, and Sean Moore comes in. Maddox goes out. They say as they get the rhythm, last week in the second half against Dallas, it felt more comfortable. Hansen, most improved of the Bills, right, and Bruce Smith, the All-Pro. Patton moves to the outside, Bennett to the inside, Conlon and Talley. A brilliant core of linebackers here in Buffalo. Jackson and Odoms at the corners. Henry Jones has 8 interceptions to lead the NFL at safety. He's there with the veteran Mark Kelso. Fumble. Sean Moore loses the ball. Who's got it? Buffalo. And that's the downside of changing quarterbacks. Cornelius Bennett came up with a football.
Dick, last week against the Dallas Cowboys in the first series, Tommy Maddox threw an interception. Dallas takes the ball in for a touchdown. The Denver Broncos did not want a repeat of that, but on a simple snap from center, they practiced enough all week that that shouldn't happen.
And it's been costly for Denver. 35% of the opponent's points have been scored off Denver mistakes, and of 22 touchdowns, 11 of the opponent's touchdowns have been after a turnover. Thurman Thomas corralled in the backfield, and the Broncos start today as they have historically against the brilliant Thurman Thomas. Mike Kroll led the charge. Thomas has not had any big days against the Denver defense. They seem to match up well.
He averages 2.9 yards a carry against Denver. I think there's a very simple reason. This is a very small but quick and active defensive front seven for Denver.
Thomas again. Tripped, maintains his balance, and skids down to the 15. A couple of yards shy of a first down. As you saw in 3 games against the Broncos, Thomas, 2.9 average, no touchdowns.
Now this is something that Buffalo can do against this small defensive front. They can push and shove them. A good double team by Ken Hull in the right guard pushed the nose tackle out of there.
Thomas again on 3rd and 2, and he rips to the 12, and that'll be good enough for a first down. So Marv Levy and Jim Kelly execute the game plan early. Thurman Thomas on the ground, getting the break with a fumble recovery on the exchange of snap. And Thurman Thomas, who has led the league in total yards from scrimmage 3 straight years. That ties him with the immortal Jim Brown, trying to make it 4 in a row, currently in 2nd place behind Barry Foster of Pittsburgh. It's Thomas, 4 in a row inside the 10-yard line as he follows the block of Carwell Gardner, a man for whom he campaigned all week long. He says, put Gardner in there. I want that 245-pound fullback to help me out.
Thurman Thomas is no dummy. Yeah, one more protector for him back there in the offensive backfield helps a great deal. This time you saw the Buffalo Bills run a sweep. That put the 2 safeties of Denver in the game, Atwater and Smith. Straight ahead works better for Buffalo.
Gardner leads him again around the left side, but to no avail as the Broncos, Mike Kroll and others there to stuff it for a couple-yard loss at the 10-yard line. So Thomas, 5 straight calls for Thurman Thomas.
This is a very tough defense, the Broncos defense, to run the corner on. The entire makeup of this defense, as designed by Wade Phillips, is movement at the line of scrimmage. Run straight at him is a much better chance of success.
So Kelly in a pass situation, his first throw of the game. Great protection. Dumps it off to the tight end, McKellar, who's close, fumbles the ball, and the Broncos have recovered. Denver's Steve Atwater comes up with the ball as Kelly and Buffalo denied. Great protection for Kelly. Terrific coverage by the Denver Broncos.
You can tell that McKellar is the outlet receiver. First hit by Mecklenburg. Then Greg Craig, the nose tackle, comes back, strips the ball away from McKellar, and Denver gets the ball back.
That's how it's been going for Kelly in Buffalo the last couple of weeks.
The ball about to be caught by McKellar. Cragen comes from inside here to hit the ball away. You can see McKellar goes inside of Carl Mecklenburg. Cragen, the nose tackle, way downfield to strip the ball away.
So Marv Levy's team in the plus column in turnovers earlier in the year, but they've really lost more than they've gotten back lately, and that's Bruce Smith to nail Greg Lewis for a 2-yard loss.
He can certainly set the mood for his football team. Mr. Smith told us that he had to baptize Mr. Freeman. That's what he does to rookie free agent offensive tackles. I do notice the Denver Broncos starting with 2 tight ends and 1 running back. Smith inside of Russell Freeman is all over Greg Lewis.
And Gaston Green, who was not expected to play, still on the sidelines as Reggie Rivers and Greg Lewis in the backfield. And out to the 9-yard line is Rivers, a free agent a year ago from Southwest Texas State. He's done a solid job. Good receiver, has 34 catches to go with those 220 yards on the ground.
Boy, every down now you see an awful lot of people coming in the ball game for the Denver Broncos. Generally in the NFL there's a lot of situation substitution, but with Denver it includes the cornerback.
3rd and 4 for Sean Moore. Moore and Maddox now. It's Maddox, only 21 years of age, the youngest man in the National Football League, and here he is in a do-or-die game for the Denver Broncos. His first throw, and Lewis thought he was held, and here comes a late flag. It was on Nate Odoms.
Well, Maddox took an extra pump on that ball, and Bruce Smith was bearing down on him from the backside.
Mark Jackson, the man fouled, apparently. He appealed, and it was only after the appeal that the flag thrown, and the call here maybe was it a catchable ball. Yes, interference. Nate Odoms seemed to be the culprit.
Defensive pass interference, number 37, spot foul, first down.
Right at the 14, carries the first down.
They run the delay outside. The top receiver, Jackson 80. The hands run. Johnson was the outlet receiver. He was not the delay or the guy who was held.
Jackson in motion on first down. And Lewis earns a hard one. Shane Conlon and Henry Jones with a tackle.
This Bronco offense against the Buffalo Bills defense, their problem is this is not a push and shove offense of the Denver Broncos. They constantly try to run what Dan Reeves calls exotic plays. In most playbooks, that's a trick play. They like reverses. They like reverse passes. They can't push and shove against many defenses. Not that big.
Maddox on 2nd and 9. To Jackson. Tackled immediately by Kirby Jackson. Jackson was the man last year. Remember in the AFC Championship game with Kubiak leading his team 10-7. Onside kick recovered through the completed pass to Steve Sewell, and Jackson stripped the ball away, and that ended Denver's hopes for the upset and another trip to the Super Bowl.
It also still sits with Steve Sewell. He's out for the year with a broken leg, and he says that may be my last reception.
Kirby Jackson, Mark Jackson, not related. 3rd and 1. Moore. He runs it out of bounds, and a late hit that'll cost Buffalo some extra yards. Jones, Moore was clearly out of bounds, and Jones continued to drag him down. So a couple of penalty mistakes helping Denver here on this drive.
And Dick, that's one of the problems I think with Buffalo. When you're not sure and things aren't going exactly your way, you try to make a big play, but a big play can't be a dumb play. And you can see that Moore is even slowing down as he approaches the sideline. Jones continues to hammer him.
So 15 yards on the foul, and suddenly the Broncos in good field position out at their 41.
2 biggest gainers for Denver, both penalties so far.
Dan Reeves at 48 in his 12th season. All the players on this team have known one coach. Ken Lanier was a rookie in Reeves' first year. Oops. Jump start for Clarence Kay that'll cost Denver 5. And that has to be tough on the entire team. You know, 2 different quarterback counts, rhythms, calls, inflections.
Well, one of the things that Dan Reeves has tried to do is make sure that they emulate John Elway's count. Now, obviously, they can't both throw the ball the way John Elway does. But I asked Dan Reeves last night about audibles, and he says each quarterback goes in with an audible for the particular play he runs. He's covered all bases for this, and he's trying to get as many good numbers out of the position as he can.
Lewis, who started at the University of Washington, and he loses a yard. Marcus Patton and Jeff Wright make the stop. Marcus Patton, number 53, whose mother taught him how to play ball. She played professional football and was also a linebacker.
She wore number 74 for the Los Angeles Dandelions. Now Patton is moving outside in a rare start, and Cornelius Bennett goes inside. And yeah, when they say, your mother's a linebacker, he says, you bet.
He says, hey, just remember, it's a war zone. Protect your territory, son. Second and long. Sean Moore, the shovel toss, and it's Shannon Sharp, his first catch today, his 39th of the season. The brother of Sterling, who's 50 catches ahead at the start of today's play. 10 yards on the catch.
This is one of those exotic plays that we mentioned that Dan Reeves likes to feature in his offense. He and his brother Sterling, very, very competitive. Both wear 84. And they call each other every day. They are extremely close, but they used to even compete against each other in who could mow the grass fastest.
And there's a good basketball story as well. They were both terrific basketball players down there in Georgia, south of Savannah. We'll get to that. Maddox over the middle, and it's Vance Johnson with that last little lurch forward to the 49 of Buffalo. He may have gotten enough for the first down. He needed to cross into Buffalo territory. Darryl Talley there to secure the stop.
Well, this is an excellent job of play selection by Dan Reeves.
Well, that's a tough spot.
Yes, it is.
When he was not down by contact, and they didn't allow that little forward skid.
I agree with you. That was not particularly friendly. But the point I was making was that Dan Reeves has been very, very conservative here in the start, getting both of these young quarterbacks' feet firmly on the ground. Not had any 5-step drops, nothing deep, just going with stuff short over the middle, and it is a first down.
Reeves would not have been happy had that not been good enough. So now it's Sean Moore, and the system here to try to talk our way through it here, Bob Trumpy. Reeves likes the idea of having the young quarterback at his side as the previous play is being played. He says to the quarterback, okay, what now? Right here. He's saying, what are you comfortable with now? It's going to be second down and something. If it's short, what do you like? If it's long, what do you like?
Yeah, and he allows Tommy Maddox to look there and pick out a play he likes, what he's comfortable with. So, all right, now, if that's the play you're going to run, remember, against this defense, this audible, here's your key. So he's coaching between every play.
Sean Moore throws it high up for grabs. That's right to Mark Kelso, sitting back there waiting. Kelso has his 4th interception of the year. And that was just a fair catch interception.
This was not even close. I mean, this was a hope shot. And then Bruce Smith made sure that Sean Moore did not see the end of this particular pass. Inside Freeman, he gets him on the ground, but Buffalo has the ball back.
We welcome you back to Buffalo, New York, and Rich Stadium, 80,000 strong. Another sellout, 19 in a row now for the Bills, who again will lead the NFL in attendance for the 5th straight year. 3 possessions in this first quarter and 3 turnovers. 6:02 left in the opening period. Starting from the 17, Kelly to Pete Metzelaars, the big tight end from Wabash College, who has his 30th reception of the year. The bricklayer Metzelaars gets about 5 on the play.
And Denver again came with that outside blitz. Mike Kroll, 51, something that Denver featured in the championship game here last year. Really bothered Jim Kelly a lot.
A little delay, and then to Thomas, weaving his way to the 29, and a flag goes down as the tackle made. Kenny Walker made the stop. spot where it could have been holding, could have been face mask. It's against the Bills.
Well, this is not the kind of start that the Buffalo Bills fans here in Orchard Park and Marv Levy expected. They had great field position. They get the fumble, and now they get a good run by Thurman Thomas.
Offense, number 51, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Veteran Jim Richards, 201st game, a Buffalo record. And Levy, the mild-mannered Phi Beta Kappa Harvard master's degree graduate, barking out some Shakespeare, I think, there on the sidelines.
Yeah, at least Shakespeare. There's no question about Shakespeare, yeah.
Kenneth Davis comes in for Thurman Thomas as Kelly out of the shotgun. Lots of time again. And it's Metzelaars with a drop, and that has been a plague here in Buffalo. Lofton, they say, has dropped a dozen in this season, 4 or 5 the last few games. Metzelaars had that one right in his mitts.
Now, there are some excuses, but they never really sit well, but they are throwing against the wind, and that ball tends to kind of weave around there, but you could see he was moving his hands around to catch the ball, but it's inexcusable.
And there's also the hot breath of Steve Atwater coming up to make a hit.
He'll make that football move.
Kelly going long for Lofton, way too long.
Well, they've had the ball twice. They fumble it once, and then a big penalty negates the drive staying alive. One of the great features about this stadium in Orchard Park, New York, is that it's generally howling. But you've got to get the fans into the game, and so far the Buffalo Bills have not.
Fans were honored before the game today. In fact, the 12th man joins the Circle of Honor here at Rich Stadium. Chris Moore had a solid season, averaging just under 41. Sends a beautiful spiral back to Arthur Marshall, all the way to the 30. Steve Tasker, the first man down, and sent him to the sidelines, where Marshall gets 4 yards before Carwell Gardner makes the stop. 56 yards on the punt for Chris Moore. The 12th man, 80,000 of them here in Buffalo. No score. In my next life, I want to be the marketing director in Buffalo. You can sell anything. You can sell anything here in Buffalo. Tonight, don't miss this lineup of comedy here and now, starring Malcolm Jamal Warner, our buddy John Forsythe, The Powers That Be, followed by Empty Nest and Nurses. All new episode of Sisters, the show America loves to watch. That's all tonight on NBC. So far, neither offense able to generate a serious drive. Denver from the 34. Lewis finds a hole. Greg Lewis breaks out to the 46-yard line and a first down. A 12-yard gallop for Lewis, who was the Doak Walker Award winner 2 years ago as the nation's top running back.
Again, with 2 tight ends and 2 running back. Good down block. Waddell does an excellent job, 67, of kicking out Bruce Smith. And Mr. Lewis, who is a straight-ahead runner, right up through there quick.
Big feet, big hands, 13 triple E's. He's made for off weather, and he's shaking his hand. You could lose your mid in his. 214-pounder. This time it's Reggie Rivers, and he's caught by Jeff Wright, the nose tackle of the Bills, penetrating and making a good play.
I think this is a perfect example of the Buffalo Bills style of football. Both offensively and defensively, they always take a chance. One play, Greg Lewis goes for over 10 yards. Next play, Jeff Wright across the line of scrimmage and tackles the running back in the backfield. That is the nature of this Buffalo Bills football team. They're always on the edge taking a chance.
2-yard loss, 2nd and 12. Shannon Sharp comes in.
9 guys in the picture there at the line of scrimmage defensively, Dick.
And look at Bruce Smith just lined up at an angle ready to charge. They go inside to Rivers, who twists to the 48-yard line. Wright again makes the tackle with an assist from Matt Darby.
Walt Corey's the defensive coordinator, and what he tries to do is turn these 9 guys up here loose. Gaps, attack every single gap. And sometimes the Buffalo defense just stuffs you right in your spot. Other times you can get a trap up through there, like the Denver Broncos just did.
They allow progress to the 49. There's Corey, the defensive coordinator, with just over 3 minutes left in this first period. His defense much improved statistically from a year ago. 3rd down and 8. Kelso. Kelso's going to be sending Moore a Christmas gift. That's 2 interceptions without any contest. He just back there as if the pass is intended for him.
Well, last week, Maddox threw 2. Mark Kelso could have fair caught both of these interceptions. He does an excellent job of keeping his feet in bounds. Again, Buffalo has possession.
Small and scholarly. Mark Kelso, William and Mary graduate, academic All-America. Not very fast, but he's very smart. Boy, smart enough to be in exactly the right spot for 2 interceptions today as Kelly takes over. Great job of eluding the rush and gets the pass to Beebe. What a courageous throw by Kelly, surrounded by Broncos and able to complete it.
Dick Beebe was open forever. And you can see the protection that his offensive line gives him. He looks away from Beebe and then finally gets the ball to him. I could not see who knocked him down. Was that Simon Fletcher? Watch Beebe, how open he is for how long. I mean, he said, come on, what do I have to do to get the ball to me? Boom, and then he gets hit.
Kelly lucky to get up after the hit he took. Totally unprotected and smothered. Kenny Walker also a piece of it, and it's Thurman and Thomas twisting out to the 46-yard line. Fletcher on the stop. A gain of 5.
Dick, you see Jim Kelly looking to the sidelines when we heard O.J. Simpson in his piece in the pregame show say that Kelly is looking to the sideline a little more. In fact, it almost appears, what? The Buffalo Bills are in a huddle.
Just in case, Frank Reich back up to Kelly, tuning up on the near sidelines.
They are huddling up. I can't believe this. Second play in a row.
Whoa! And Kelly gets a great bounce. And Thomas trying to catch it before, or run before he caught it. Picked up by Tyrone Braxton, but it's incomplete. Boy, did Buffalo live right on that play.
I don't know what happened to Ken Hall here, the center. I mean, normally he's very good. You could see that Cragen was crowding him at the line of scrimmage, but they almost made a super play out of this. Thurman Thomas just could not hang on to it.
It's one of those where you're saying, come on, ball, please, come on, get to me quicker. And Thomas a little too eager once he got it.
That was definitely a home field bounce for Kelly. Came right up into his hands.
And the Bills apparently guilty of illegal motion.
Offense, number 51, before the snap, 5-yard penalty, remain 3rd down.
Well, Dick, to this point, the Buffalo Bills have been their own worst opponent here. Dumb little penalties, and Richard comes out of his stance. And again now, 3rd down and long.
3rd and 8 with 1:37 left in a scoreless first quarter. Lots of time, and he finds his tight end McKellar. Flag down as McKellar crosses the 50-yard line. Earl Mecklenburg makes a stop, and judging from McKellar's reaction, that one's going to come back.
Yep.
Interference offense.
He was matched up against Carl Mecklenburg. Last week, Mecklenburg was on Jay Novacek of the Dallas Cowboys, and he got a lot of catches. They tried to do it again, but when Kelly looked to me like the intended receiver was Andre Reed.
Number 84, 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Here's McKellar right here, and you can clearly see him push off of Carl Mecklenburg as he goes to break out. There's the contact, and they actually call it on the tight end. It's hard to tell from this distance who did the majority of the shoving. But
oh, come on, you're trying to protect the tight ends. You wore 84 too. You're living in the past. On 3rd and 8, Kelly wide open is Lofton. Did he stay in bounds? Yes. First down at the Denver 49, a 19-yard play. They needed 18.
Well, this is a huge mistake by the Broncos defense. James Lofton, feet inbounds, hangs onto the football. He has certainly had trouble catching the ball cleanly of late. Kelly shows great confidence in him. First down.
Athletic, though, isn't he, yes. Lofton? He's 8 shy now of his coach, Charlie Joyner, who has 750 in his career. Whoa, what a collision as Thurman Thomas hit at the Denver 45-yard line by Dennis Smith.
Goodness.
Smith, the veteran, 33 years of age, Says that he feels healthier, but his wife wonders, how do you even get out of bed after each game? Also in on that tackle was Richer, who was actually blocking Smith into the play. Kelly with the pump, and wide open is Beebe. He fumbles. And the Broncos kicking it to the pylon, and then it's covered by Denver at the pylon, and that may be, yes, it'll be a touchback they're signaling touchback for Denver.
But wait a minute, that pylon is not in play. If it hits the pylon, it's out of bounds. If it hits the pylon, it goes out of bounds. Yeah. I thought that thing hit the pylon. Hitting the pylon, the last team to touch the ball would have been the Buffalo Bills. Remain their football.
But the pylon is at the break of the goal line, which means once it hits the pylon, it has hit the goal line, and therefore is part of the end zone.
A ball fumbled forward through the end zone is a touchback, first down.
That's an incredible play.
Goodness.
The Broncos trying to pick it up, the ball there, but it actually pushed all the way back to the goal line. Beebe stripped by Mecklenburg. Then Braxton with a shot at it actually kicks the ball unintentionally, hits the pylon. Easy call.
Goodness.
Pylon part of the end zone.
Absolutely. No question. No question it goes over to Dick. Is anybody going to be able to hang on to this football today, Dick?
17 seconds left in the first quarter. Greg Lewis hit at the 19-yard line. Bruce Smith. And that should be the final play of this first quarter. One that has featured 5 turnovers. The Broncos a 2-touchdown underdog, and the Bills no score. Neither team able to hold on to the ball nor take advantage of an opponent's mistake as Darryl Talley and the Bills defense comes on. No score as we open the second quarter. Talley having to wipe away some personal problems. His wife was in the hospital yesterday, bone marrow tests, and is pregnant, expecting their second child next month. But he's the tough personality in that Bills defense. On second down and 9, Rivers hit by Talley and Smith. Talley called the toughest man I have on defense by his coach Walt Corey.
Yeah, I can tell you, in one off season in 1990, Darryl Talley had 3 surgeries in one day, 2 elbows and a knee. If he didn't go into those 3 surgeries a linebacker, when he came out, I should have made him a linebacker.
Product of East Cleveland, Ohio. Talley, outspoken. He is one of the team leaders. 8 yards to go on third down. It's Maddox at quarterback. Great throw to Sharp, and Shannon Sharp's second catch gives the Broncos a first down at the 36. Kirby Jackson on the coverage, 19 yards on the play. And now Moore, who set 29 University of Virginia passing records.
Well, you can see Shannon Sharp, he's a mismatch no matter who you put him against. Against defensive backs, he's got great speed and size to make the catch. And against linebackers, he can certainly outrun them. And now Sterling knows that he's got to catch at least 2 when the Green Bay Packers play tomorrow. These two compete every single day.
Moore with 2 interceptions and a fumble. Last week it was Maddox with 4 interceptions. Lewis, well, not much inside. Phil Hansen and others with a tackle after a yard gain. And now Maddox, he's 3 for 3 in this first half, 34 yards. Reeves, who, if he has a fault from all you hear in the confusion as to whether or not he'll be back as the head coach in Denver, is the fact that he has too much control, and he does run the ship. There's no doubt as to who the head man is, the captain who's at the helm. Dan Reeves, one of the most intense men in sport, and one of the best.
I think he's earned that control.
Maddox almost had it taken out of his hands by Henry Jones, and they're going to call that a fumble, and it belongs to Buffalo. The referee right on the spot did not signal incomplete pass, although it appeared Maddox's arm was going forward, but it almost was taken right out of his hands by Henry Jones.
It certainly appeared that his arm was going forward.
Yes,
oh, yes,
definitely.
no question.
but almost an interception from inches.
Incomplete pass.
That's the correct call, although the Bills fans don't like it.
The referee, I believe, interceded, and he said arm going forward.
Gary Lane may have been looking for help. His view was blocked in the play. He was behind the quarterback.
That's one of the things the officials do now without the instant replay. They group together, try to get other officials' opinion as to what it is, and then come up with the correct interpretation.
But such a weird play. That's what made it a difficult call. Here's your safety blitz. Jones in on the quarterback, and the ball thrown right into Jones' hands from just a foot away. Here's Moore, and from this distance I can't quite tell, but I think Mark Kelso was just wiping saliva from his chin. He was licking his chops looking for number 3. It appeared Russell Freeman was the man who might have pulled back.
False start, offense, number 68, 5-yard penalty, remain third down.
Freeman, the free agent from Georgia Tech.
And you can understand coming out of your stance a little bit. First time you play Bruce Smith, you first have to get by Bruce Smith's reputation as one of the game's great pass rushers. And then I think the thing that surprises you the most is the brute strength that this gentleman has. Throws 300-pound tackles out of his way.
He's had an all-pro season again. 12 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 17 pressures. He's second in tackles. Not many defensive linemen, number 2 on their team in tackles. Moore, a good scrambler, and he buys some time and throws to Vance Johnson incomplete. 4th down and 15 for Denver. So more strength as they try to combine for the missing party. Elway is to scramble like Elway can.
Can't quite throw it back across the field the way John Elway can.
Who can?
And Bruce Smith, every game he plays, he gets a little company. It's Freeman with Reggie Rivers, 38, helping. He attracts blockers.
Darren Parker, signed last week, free agent from South Carolina, gets a Denver bounce. Clifford Hicks takes a chance and gets a couple 3 yards out of it to the 27-yard line. Tackled by Lilo, Lang, and others. 43-yard punt, and we have a timeout. A little equipment repair, that face mask on the Buffalo sidelines, as we remind you that after today's telecast from Buffalo, we'll have the live coverage of the presentation of the 1992 Heisman Trophy, college football's premier honor. This year's leading hopefuls for the award: Miami's quarterback Gino Torretta, San Diego State's running back Marshall Falk, and Georgia running back Garrison Hurst. Who will receive the highly coveted Heisman Award? You'll find out live next here on NBC.
That's not the Heisman we just saw there.
Possessions for Buffalo have ended 2 fumbles and a punt. Kelly to Thomas. And Thomas driving to the 30, maybe the 31-yard line, a pickup of about 4. Mecklenburg and Kroll making the stop.
You know, last night when talking to the Denver Bronco defense, they watched the championship game and have put some of the defensive game plan from last year in this year. These outside linebackers are beginning to torment Kelly a little bit.
Kelly again, lots of time being chased, and there's another fumble, but recovered by Can't Hold, the center of the Bills, following the play as Simon Fletcher gets the sack. That'll be his 12th of the year.
There's that outside linebacker. You see Metzlar's 88 release. Thurman Thomas on Simon Fletcher is a matchup that the Buffalo Bills cannot and never will win.
Talk about Simon Fletcher. Here's a man out of Houston who has led Denver in sacks 5 straight years. Those are all leads, leading again this year with 12. I don't believe he's made it to a Pro Bowl with so many star players at his position, but what a solid contributor. Down the middle of the field, intercepted by Tyrone Braxton at the 45, and inside the 40 goes Braxton, a distant relative of a former Buffalo Bill fullback, Jim Braxton, who blocked for O.J. Tyrone Braxton has number 2.
What's wrong with this football? Is it the wrong flavor here? Neither team wants to hang on to it. It's an excellent catch by Braxton. Ball intended for Andre Reed. Excellent coverage by Braxton. Now 6 turnovers, and at this point there's 11:38 to go in the second quarter.
Braxton taking it to the 38-yard line with a 6th turnover. He played at North Dakota State. So Denver with great field position to start this drive. Maddox to Lewis. Lewis has a hole. 30. Lewis to the 21-yard line and a first down deep in Buffalo territory. Kelso made the tackle.
Nick, you can see the emotion draining from the defense, but watch what happens here. We mentioned Jim Kelly not having a good year. Watch this corner fall down. He is wide open at the top of the screen. That's Beebe on the outside, but he goes to Andre Reed in the middle, and the interception is made. There is a wide open receiver at the sideline. Jim Kelly did not see him.
17 yards for Lewis on that first down play to the 21 of the Bills as Denver moves into field goal range. No score. 11 minutes left in the opening half. Same play for Lewis. And this time he's crunched at the 20 after a pickup of 1. Phil Hansen, Herbie Jackson collaborate on the stop. And Jim Kelly in a slump. And it continues on this day. They've lost consecutive games to 2 teams that they were heavily favored to beat. Indianapolis in overtime and the Jets, and they're favored by 2 touchdowns today against a quarterback weak Denver team.
And he called the team meeting this week. He's the one who said, gentlemen, we got to get it back and together. And to this point, he's made some bad choices, Dick.
Out of the shotgun, Maddox. Little rolling pocket. Hansen chasing Maddox and makes the play. Phil Hansen. Well, this is a day for North Dakota State. Braxton just made the interception, and now another graduate of the Bison's program at ND State. Phil Hansen makes a play.
This looks like a busted play. See, Maddox looks like he's going to hand it to Rivers, but Phil Hansen, the farm boy from North Dakota, who grew up without, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not joking, cable.
Now that's serious. Any farm person, I can relate to that. You're a former farmer. No cable. Oh, that'll make you leave the country.
Yep.
On 3rd and long. Blitz. And Clifford Hicks drops more for a big loss that'll take Denver out of field goal range.
Nick, neither one of these defenses paying much respect to the offense. Hicks totally untouched. A clear shot. Sean Moore could not avoid the sack.
And the line of scrimmage now the 38, exactly where Tyrone Braxton returned the interception. He had that big run by Lewis to the 21, but have moved back from there. 4th and 27, and Parker will punt again. Clifford Hicks, who just made the sack. This one bounce and into the end zone. So that's an 18-yard net on that punt. Doesn't please Dan Reeves. Buffalo's ball at the 20 when we return. Spear to the 12th man. I always wondered about people who are at massive football games, get on national TV, go home, take off the mask, say, "Did you see me on TV today?" I can't quite figure that whole philosophy out. Thurman Thomas gets the call on first down as Buffalo and Denver neither able to move the ball. Tickets are hard to find.
We're hoping that's a match.
Hi, Mom. Kelly to Thomas. Has he been busy? And he's smacked from behind as Kenny Walker trailing the play, able to make the stop. Walker from Nebraska. Courageous story. Man who is deaf, who overlooked by many, drafted in the 8th round. Story that you well know, and has become an outstanding pro. Light for his position. Oops.
Free play.
Denver guessing the snap count and offside. The pass to Andre Reed, but unless Buffalo had some preliminary movement.
Well, if there's contact made by the defense, it's called encroachment. The play is dead. They won't allow them to snap. One thing that is very noticeable, Dick, is that, see what the call is here.
Seems like it's against Buffalo. The Denver said, "Now let's go back here."
Yeah, the Denver Broncos have anticipated the snap count very well in this first half. They've been really encroaching on that line of scrimmage a bunch.
Meanwhile, Slingshot Schneiderman has gone through the NFL book. Just for you, satisfy your curiosity, most turnovers in a game. We'll give it to you in just a moment.
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
We've had 6 turnovers in the game so far. 8:17 to go in the second quarter. 17 is the record.
Let's hope we don't threaten that record. I don't want to be a part of a 16 or 17 turnover game.
Lions and Bears in the war years, 42. Thomas, he's so awful. Out to the 36-yard line, a gain of about 5 before Steve Atwater, the Pro Bowl youngster in the secondary for Denver, makes another good hit.
Maybe his greatest attribute is how he sets up blocks. Now watch how he helps Parker 74 richer. Then again inside of Parker 74, he uses those blocks beautifully. That is not coachable. You are born with that, and you hope somebody gives that kid a football, because he turns out to be Thurman Thomas.
He wants a win. He says, Mama hasn't called me for 2 weeks. Off the right open. Flea Flicker, and all alone is Beebe, and Buffalo finally scores. '64-yard touchdown. Well, Denver known for the exotic. Marv Levy with the surprise today.
Nick, when I played, they called that the triple pass, but what a concession to the Broncos defense. Buffalo, not known for the trick plays, has to go to the double reverse pass for its first score of the day. And as much trouble as they've had hanging on to the football, I'm sure the Buffalo coaching staff on the sideline was worried for every handoff, let alone the pass to the catch.
Beebe's second score of the season. Try for point now by Christie. Frank Reich to hold. And the Bills lead 7-0. Kelly now 6 for 11. 64 yards on the play. That matches the 64 for the entire first half prior to the throw. Welcome back. Buffalo 7-0 on the trick play. Alton Montgomery takes the kickoff of Christie and gets it out to about the 27-yard line. Let's go back to very interesting play. And oh my, did it work.
Beebe is the intended receiver. He comes down here. You got to be an actor, because the defensive back goes with him, and then he buys the reverse. But they pitch it back to Kelly, and Beebe is so wide open.
Wyman Henderson, see, just eases by Henderson, who goes for what he thought was a reverse run. Boy, Beebe 10 yards clear. He had a 65-yard reception for his first touchdown this year. That one was for 64. Wyman Henderson burned, but that he isn't the first.
And won't be the last.
So trailing 7-0. It's Lewis. Loses a yard, maybe 2. Phil Hansen playing a big game. Kirby Jackson forcing from the corner. There's Hansen in his second season. Gained nearly 20 pounds this year. Felt he wasn't strong enough. From Oaks, North Dakota. Population 2,000. Don Beebe. He too from a small school. Chadron State.
You know, the acting job he did, we give him 6 points and an Oscar. And that's as much as you can gain on that triple pass.
On second down and 11. Moore throws underneath to veteran Vance Johnson. Shane Conlon the tackle at the 32-yard line. Short yardage, about 3rd and 6 coming up.
Nick, if we go back to the touchdown again from behind the offense, watch the effect that all the movement has on the defense. You see Atwater moving back and forth. The pitch back, normally this goes to the tight end. But to the wide receiver, if you can act like Beebe did going by Henderson, yeah, we'll give it to you.
3rd and 5, a long 5. Maddox now the quarterback underneath the Johnson, nothing there. Gain of 2 yards. Kirby Jackson makes the stop, and Denver will have to punt.
And Vance Johnson gets up. Hurt. Looked like Jackson put his helmet right in the thigh of Vance Johnson. So far, the Buffalo defense has played the way the Buffalo defense has played for the last several years. They have not given the Denver Broncos much.
Darren Parker to punt. Clifford Hicks back to the 22. And good return to the 35-yard line. Tim Lucas made the tackle. Timeout with 5:19 left in this opening half. Welcome back. Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy. 5:19 remaining, and the talent of that man, John Elway. Sometimes you don't know how great a player is until you don't have his services, and Elway's always been around. He hasn't been hurt very often. From 7-3 in a seemingly certain playoff spot to a more ordinary team without Elway. I guess that's the kindest way to put it. He is such a tremendous talent.
When he plays, you wonder if he's worth the money. When he sits out, you know he's worth twice the money.
All he does is win. And coming up now, tomorrow we'll have a big NFL schedule, and the question, whom is the best running back? Is it that man that just carried Thurman Thomas, or Barry Foster, who leads the league? Thomas is third, Emmitt Smith is second. Who else would you put in that
Ricky
category?
Waters. Ricky Waters of the San Francisco 49ers. He's got to be in that group.
Throw to Beebe. Tyrone Braxton, and then tackled by Mike Kroll. And that'll be a first down for Beebe at the Buffalo 49-yard line.
Well, that trick play seemed to put a little confidence in the Buffalo Bills offense here. Kelly was looking a little disheveled there until he got that thing to Beebe. Now he looks a little better under center.
Now Thomas to the 50 and Denver 49. Mecklenburg and others on the stop. Greg Cragen. Boy, you can't say enough about Cragen either. 265 pounds. Is he the lightest nose tackle in the league?
Has to be. Nobody with an ounce of brains with a 265 play nose tackle, but he loves it. He's at home playing nose tackle in there.
Very quick, and that's the answer to lack of size. Kelly able to extricate. Continues to fake, even though he was 5 yards downfield, and the defender bought the fake. Tyrone Braxton finally runs him out of bounds. First down, Buffalo.
Well, when they show the films of that in Denver on Monday or Tuesday, Braxton will leave the room. That is the ultimate embarrassment. There's his big old slow quarterback. Oh, no. I gotta see that again.
10 yards for Kelly on the scramble. Doesn't run quite the way he used to. But Beebe again. No, this is Thomas. Thomas to the 30. Oh, he's rough. 21-yard line. First down, Buffalo.
An absolutely tireless player, Dick. He's the only Buffalo Bill running back to carry it today. And he catches the pass out there in flat and appears to have the fresh legs.
At the start today, Thomas was 69 yards behind Barry Foster for most scrimmage yards. He has 65 in this first half. Foster, Pittsburgh Steeler giant back, is leading the league in total yards and rushing yards. Thomas again, and that's close to the 4 yards he needs to give him a little head start before Foster goes to work tomorrow.
Well, again, the Buffalo Bills like to feature Thurman Thomas any way they can. That was a little counter, and Thomas so very good at following his blockers, kind of punching over, protecting himself through the line of scrimmage, and Buffalo beginning to take control of this Denver defense.
Thomas, a little delay. Boy, Smith couldn't bring him down, and finally it's Demry, and with it a penalty. Demry might have gotten some of the face mask in order to bring Thomas to the turf, and appears to be an injured Buffalo Bill at the 15-yard line. Could be
that's
Farad or Wolford. Yeah. We see the 9 is at 59 or say that's Mitch Farad, I believe, from that long blonde locks of his. Meanwhile, the penalty is against Denver on the tackle, and that will give Buffalo the ball well inside the 10-yard line.
Every time we now see a player down on the field.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the tackle, number 49, half the distance to the goal line, first down.
Well, that'll mark it at the 4-yard line.
Well, you'll see the counter coming right at you with Thurman Thomas. Farrat and Ballard out in front. Now watch him run right through the tackle of Dennis Smith. Dennis put his head down, and he couldn't really wrap his arms around Thurman Thomas.
They call that a major penalty to the helmet, but that's not the penalty there. Smith, 49 because of the helmet in the back. Boy, that is...
Are they calling that spearing then?
That's a penalty that, boy, if they start calling that, we're going to see a lot of flags.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't understand that call. If it is in fact on Dennis Smith. Now,
it must have been 29. He caught the back of the helmet. That's where the flag goes down. Perhaps the numbers got confused in the call.
Dimry grabbed a hold of the right side of the helmet and spun the head around a little bit. They called it on 49. I'm betting it's 29.
So we're getting confirmation of that now. The officials down on the field saying it was 29, not Dennis Smith.
Smith, one of the great tacklers in the game. Thomas just runs right. Watch the right hand. Yeah, just grabs a hold of the side of the helmet, and they deem that to be a personal foul. Meanwhile, Mitch Farrat still on the ground, and there's a lot more importance to trainers going to the field when you've got a player on the ground nowadays.
Yeah, he was down long before the play went by him, so it was on his initial block that he was injured. And he was in there for Glenn Parker, giving Parker a breather.
And Dick, I noticed even on the back of some of the helmets of the Buffalo Bills, they still have the sticker from last week's game against the New York Jets. A little sign to make sure that Dennis Byrd, there it is, in the back of Wolford's helmet. They're thinking about Dennis Byrd.
And the news continues to be encouraging regarding the Jets' defensive star, starting to have some voluntary movement in his lower extremities, and let's hope as we approach this holiday season, as we all look for good things, that's a portent of total recovery for Byrd.
I talked to Bruce Coslett, the head coach of the Jets this week, and he told me that they were moving him to Mount Sinai rehab, and he goes from 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon, beginning to relearn how to function with whatever paralysis he has, and Farrat is up.
Mitch Farrat, that's good to see. Played at Penn State. He said he's already thinking about his next career. He wants to be a professional wrestler. He's already talked to some of the federations, World Wrestling Federation, I believe it was, Vince McMahon, and he's got his idols, Hulk Hogan. He's going to be the pit bull, he said. He's even got his costume already picked.
Well, we can see what happened to Farrat. He's right here next to the goalpost, and it looks like when he hits Carl Mecklenburg 77, he gets his back hyperextended, but his body is in a very odd position. Falls to the ground, but he's up and moving. And meanwhile, Buffalo first and goal. Dick.
At the 4-yard line, leading 7-0, approaching the 2-minute warning. Thurman Thomas, and Dennis Smith drills him and trying to steal the ball as well. He thought that was the kind of tackle. Just from his reaction, he's forced so many fumbles in his Pro Bowl career that he thought he'd jar the ball free on that one.
One of the things Dennis Smith, you'll see the whole thing happen. He tries to make the big play.
Oh, he did cause a fumble, and then it went right back to Thomas. No wonder he was frustrated.
Home field advantage, Dick. Home field advantage. Whatever works.
2-minute warning.
And that is the 2-minute timeout at the 1:59 mark. Heading toward the playoffs. NFL Live kicks off our action tomorrow at 12:30. Who is the best running back? Thurman, Barry, Emmett, all going for the total yardage honors. Thomas, injured on that tackle by Dennis Smith, is out. That's Gardner in behind Kelly, who rolls. He's going to run it in. Touchdown.
Dick, that's the first guy other than Thurman Thomas for the Buffalo Bills to carry the ball today.
Jim Kelly on keeper.
2-yard scramble to make it 13-0.
The primary receiver was the tight end Pete Metzelaars, but nobody out there, so Kelly legs it in.
Another chapter for his next book, his autobiography, Armed and Dangerous, in the top 20. Chris University adds the extra point. And with 1:56 remaining in the half, Buffalo claims a 2-touchdown lead.
It's the rollout. Pete Metzelar's right there on the line of scrimmage, blocks and then releases. Kelly, the little fake to Metzelar's inside, and Lucas, 59, can't get out there to make the tackle. He remembers how to spike the football.
Well, he's done it 3 other times on rushing scores. That's his 4th in the NFL. Well, tomorrow, as we said, the best running back will be one of the features on NFL Live at 12:30.
I'm presuming they left Ricky Waters out of there because this is just his 2nd year. These 3 have had a lot more years, but you're going to have to start including Ricky Waters in there in the next couple of years.
You talk to the players that have tried to defend the 49ers, his name comes up right now. That'll be tomorrow, followed by a full schedule of NFL action here on NBC. Thomas, 58 yards rushing and 22 more on catches today. And as he came off the field after the Dennis Smith tackle, he looked wobbly.
You'd be surprised how many players will walk up to Thurman Thomas and ask him how he feels. He's an important member of the team. It'll make sure he's all right.
Still time for Denver, trailing 14-0, but a loose ball and covered at the 12-yard line. Arthur Marshall. And our lineup of NFL action tomorrow, many of these games with playoff implications. Pittsburgh at Chicago, where it is uncharitable to root for Jim Harbaugh, because if he loses tomorrow, he's given $70,000 as payday to charity. New England, Kansas City, Cleveland, Detroit, Colts and Jets, and Cincinnati at San Diego Lake. At the 12-yard line, down by 14 with 1:53 left. All 3 timeouts left for Dan Reeves. Maddox, the quarterback. He does have a terrific arm, boy, so fluid, and he laced that one out there for Mark Jackson, who leads the Broncos in catches, 39 coming in.
But this kid is skinny, 6'4", 200 pounds. He needs to lift weights. But the punishment that quarterbacks take in the NFL, he's got a strong arm, but needs more meat.
Because of the strong arm and because Dan Reeves doesn't want to chew up too much clock, apparently, Maddox stays in. That one incomplete. He had to unload to Reggie Rivers, as Bruce Smith was smothering any attempt, and Jeff Wright was there as well.
Maddox is going off here. You just said I think Maddox would like to stay in there, but again, this is Russell Freeman with his baptism. The spin move, when you watch it on film, it doesn't look that quick, and suddenly he's there, he's gone, and he's in the chest of your quarterback.
Well, Bruce Smith, when we talked to him yesterday and 2 days ago, and said, well, you're finally 100% after all your health problems, and his smile just illuminated the room, didn't it? He is healthy, and that doesn't make the opponents very happy. He's having a Pro Bowl year.
Now he's over the center.
Moore on the quarterback draw, and a flag down as Moore crosses the 25-yard line. That stops the clock with 1:20 left in the half. Cornelius Bennett made the stop.
Another player down. Can't really pick up. Oh, it's Cornelius Bennett, yeah.
Well, Bennett, who has been playing outside, moved inside today by the Bills, and in many ways felt that because of his great pursuit ability that teams were running away from his talent. By putting him in the middle of that defense, then he can cover both right and left sidelines.
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Bruce Smith might have been in the neutral zone.
Inside of 2 minutes, Buffalo.
Entry timeout charged to Buffalo.
Here's Bennett. Looks to me like when he sweeps his arm out here to get Moore to the ground. Well, no, I can't really pick up what it might be.
We'll take the timeout. 1:20 left in the half. Bennett able to leave the field without any assistance. A good sign. 2nd down and 5 after the 5-yard penalty. And Maddox back in for Denver.
for Buffalo.
So there's no charge timeout to Buffalo if that does become a factor because there was a penalty on the play. So Maddox Moore, the M&M team, not doing much today against Buffalo. Maddox, good-looking young guy, came in there, he had his leather suspenders on, handsome, 21 years young, and he and Moore's 24. They were like a couple of kids out of a fraternity initiation, weren't they?
But Maddox, he's a scar, just crazy. Absolutely.
Unblemished. Time will come. Maddox, almost intercepted. Diving try by Darryl Talley. Back to Maddox, and we asked Reeves, and when it came to draft time, why did they select Maddox, who had only completed 2 years at UCLA, just turned 21 this fall, and it was Raymond Berry and others who came with the word.
Yeah, the natural. And they predicted Maddox. They hoped, because of the general health of John Elway, and in 4, 5, or 6 years, Maddox would grow into the job and be the next starter. Well, Elway out for an extended period of time, and Maddox is forced in there.
Yeah, they didn't want to force feed him this way, nor Moore, for that matter, who was in the WLAF. Overthrows. Oh, Kelso almost got the hat trick. Playing it very deep, plays deep anyway, but because of this situation, about 5 yards deeper, Ojeda had his 3rd interception of the half. 90 total yards for the Broncos this first half, and now with 1:11 left, Buffalo leading 14-0 is going to get pretty good field position. All their timeouts can add to their lead. Parker, who was working on his graduate degree when they called him a couple of weeks ago, gets off a bad kick, and it goes out of bounds at the 43-yard line of Denver. 16 yards.
Buffalo did put a little pressure on Parker. Not a guy who is used to punting in the NFL, and I think it showed.
Domino Pizza NFL Live halftime report coming up. And one of the features, Bill Cowher's amazing Pittsburgh Steelers and number 29, Barry Foster. Rejuvenation in the Steel City by Cowher. Great enthusiasm on that team, and what a running back in Foster with. Darryl Talley says he runs a lot faster than it looks like.
Yes. Chuck Noll told me that Barry Foster was the toughest football player he had ever been around. Ever. Toughest.
That's covering some territory. Tougher than Jack Lambert.
Absolutely. And guys he played with, the toughest.
Thomas loses a yard on first down at the 45 of Denver. 46-45 seconds. Kelly wide open as Lofton breaks a tackle. He's inside the 20. Wow, in this situation, Lofton that clear of any defender.
Now this is that prevent zone, which is more a mindset than anything else. You see just a little bump by the defensive back, Lilo Lang. He just runs the corner, and Atwater doesn't get over there. He doesn't rotate out far enough. This prevent, when guys sit back there and they get too lax, and 17-yard pickups happen too often.
38 seconds left in the half. Kelly over the middle. McKellar to the 11-yard line, and Buffalo spends a timeout with 32 seconds remaining before the intermission. They're well within field goal range, up by 14. Trying to get more. 14-0. I had a feeling yesterday that Kelly might be sharper against Denver, Bob Trumpy, because when we were walking back from their bubble where they practiced back for our meetings, I was nailed at the back of the head with a snowball from long range. I didn't know who threw it. I thought one of you guys did. There was no one in sight. Kelly from about 60 yards hit me dead center in the back of the head. Well, I had a feeling, you know.
You were open. I mean, you know.
I'm always open. Oh, my.
Timeout was not caused by the injury. It is a charge timeout. They have one remaining.
Well, change that again now.
Give and take. Kelly 11 for 15. With the one bad throw, the interception. Braxton picking off at 190 yards yards for Kelly, who leads the NFL in touchdown passes. And most of the Buffalo offensive statistics, team-wise, 1 and 2, 3 in the league. It's the offense is moving the ball. Here's Thomas on the draw. Look at him hide and then cut forward and score. Oh, what a play by Thurman Thomas. Thurman Thomas, and that is the complete running back.
Yeah, well, that's certainly the kind of performance you want before tomorrow they judge who people think is the best running back. That was impressive.
Barry Foster, Emmitt Smith, and the others will have their chance tomorrow. Christie just does get that one through. So 43 yards in 4 plays, and that's where that K-gun attack, the no huddle for Buffalo, really pays off. From
behind the defense. Unfortunately, there's some very poor tackling and slow adjustment here by the Denver Broncos. Atwater misses him. Brooks gets blocked well, but he hides behind that blocker just beautifully.
Yeah, you talk to young runners, a lot of high school kids and heading for college or junior high school players can't wait to play this game. And, patience is a virtue. And, boy, that demonstrated well. The great runners don't do it in a hurry.
Oh.
They wait and wait, and there he just that little extra patience waiting for the block to develop and then the hole.
And to Thurman Thomas's credit, he shows a great deal of confidence in the people in front of him. He never makes them look bad. He allows them to make the block. And that really makes an offensive lineman, the next time he runs the play, to block even harder for Thurman Thomas.
At least for a day, Thurman Thomas leads the league in total yards from scrimmage. He has 89 yards today. Denver with 90.
He has been their first half, except for Don Beebe in that big catch.
Well, that just awakened Buffalo.
Absolutely.
So now with 26 seconds left and Denver discouraged, down by 3 scores. Taken by Alton Montgomery. Finds a little daylight. Nice running by Montgomery from Houston. He's out to the 29-yard line. Well, it's a big day here. Not only Buffalo and Denver, then you'll see the presentation live of the Heisman Award, and that'll be followed by Christy Yamaguchi and the finest skaters in the world. The World Figure Skating Championships. You'll see Nancy Kerrigan as well headline the entries in the 1992 Championships of Skating that followed the Olympic Games. That's today at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. We're headed later in March. NBC off to Prague, Czechoslovakia for the 93 championships that you'll enjoy later on. Not much to enjoy for Dan Reeves these last 4 weeks. Boy, you just want to make sure that Elway stays as healthy as he can. Not that Maddox and Moore won't be NFL quarterbacks, but Elway is Denver.
These two are not ready yet.
Elway hopes he can play next week. He said his shoulder for the first time didn't stiffen up on him this week. He hopes to go against Seattle at Mile High next Sunday afternoon, a week from tomorrow. Well, Buffalo finally, after a lot of trouble, last 3 possessions for the Bills, 3 touchdowns. Thurman Thomas leading the way, 21-0. We go to Bob Costas in New York.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
Okay, Bills lead the Broncos 21-0. Bob Costas back along with Will McDonough. We just heard Dick Enberg say before he threw it to us from Rich Stadium that Elway thinks he might be able to go against Seattle. And Denver fans watching this are thinking he best be able to go.
Well, those were the sentiments of their owner, Pat Bowlen, yesterday. He said, Will, we got to try to get John on the field for those last 2 games. We need him if we're going to make the playoffs. So they're going to push harder with the medical staff to get him ready.
Now, obviously, if you're a Buffalo fan, you look at this, you go, all right, even though Denver at this point isn't the best team in the league, this is good news. We finally get on track. We scored 21 points. Meanwhile, it's better news for Houston, San Diego, Kansas City, and the Dolphins. They're all 8-5, and we'd be looking at Denver maybe as wild card competition if they don't win their respective divisions. And Cleveland is 7-6, and they're in good shape with Denver dropping from the race if they do.
It's great news for anybody in the AFC that's still in the playoff picture.
You know, that was a very concise way of saying it.
That's the way you should have done it.
Would you like to switch seats? Actually, next year, that's possible. You could be a candidate. Well, following the Bills and Broncos today on NBC, we've got live coverage of the Heisman Trophy Award Show. And for a quick preview, we head to Jim Lampley at the Downtown Athletic Club. Oh, James.
Oh, Bob, thank you very much. I am at the Downtown Athletic Club, where later today, your man, O.J. Simpson, and I will be bringing you the news on which American male has become the 57th winner of the trophy symbolic of being the outstanding player in college football, the Heisman Trophy. And there are the three primary candidates who've joined us today down here at the DAC. On the left, Garrison Hurst, the junior running back out of Georgia. In the middle, the quarterback from the University of Miami, senior Gino Torretta. And on the right, the man who dominated early season speculation, sophomore running back Marshall Faulk of San Diego State. Here with me, 1968 Heisman Award winner O.J. Simpson. O.J., the outstanding player in college football, an increasingly tough criterion to follow, I think.
That's right. You try to think about who's the most valuable player, who's the best player, who's most valuable to his team. Then there's two other things you got to think about: consistency and the record of the team. And I think because of those last 2 points, Torretta becomes a favorite this year.
Indeed. His team's performance gives Torretta the inside track. But we'll talk to all three of those primary candidates, tell you who the winner is, then talk to him and his family later today after the game from here at the Downtown Athletic Club. Bob?
Jim and Juice, we'll look forward to it. Let's make a quick change of topics here. In case you missed it last night, an interesting matchup in the NBA between the Orlando Magic and the Phoenix Suns. The first professional meeting between Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. Here are some of the highlights from that one. Barkley has taken on Godzilla recently, so Shaquille shouldn't have been too much of an obstacle. O'Neal unable to get close enough for the jam. Barkley picks it up, rifles a nice pass to Cedric Ceballos for the backward jam. Barkley finished with 18 points and 11 rebounds, but didn't shoot very well on the night. Charles got a close-up look at Shaquille, the rookie taking it to the veteran. 26 points, 17 boards for Shaq. But he couldn't come through at the end at the foul line, missing 2 key free throws in the last 6 seconds, including this one with just a second remaining that could have forced overtime. The Suns win it 108-107, and Phoenix now owns the best record in the NBA. And up next, back to football. Gail Gardner will join us with a look at the 10-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. That's next as we continue on the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report. And we welcome Gail Gardner in tomorrow on NBC. The game most of you will see has the Steelers visiting the Bears at Soldier Field. Now, Pittsburgh is a game ahead of Buffalo, as you know, in the battle for home field advantage in the AFC. And at the beginning of the year, that statement would have qualified as unlikely.
Unlikely, I think most people would have said virtually impossible. But when Pittsburgh native Bill Cowher took over for the legendary Chuck Noll this season, he promised the city that he would bring the pride and tradition so long associated with the Steelers back to the forefront. Well, it sounded good back in January, but no one truly believed it would come to fruition. Well, guess what? At 10-3, already in the playoffs, Bill Cowher has proven to be a man of his word.
You know, we like it hard. You know, make it hard, and then, you know, we'll face the challenge.
I think you have a very stubborn team. You have a very persistent team that won't give up.
This team is a lot like a bulldog. You know, once you got a grip, they just don't want to let go.
Tenacious, relentless, dedicated, and committed, the men of steel have dusted off their armor, and under the enthusiasm of their 35-year-old head coach, once again typify the work ethic of the people of Pittsburgh.
We're not flashy and we're not fancy. You know, we go out there on Sundays and we play the game of football, you know, very direct. We play the game with a great passion, and it may typify the way the people go about business in Pittsburgh.
I think, you know, the fans, when they come down to Three Rivers, they expect, you know, you to come out there. They expect to see quarterbacks get smashed. They expect to see receivers get smashed on the other side of the ball. They want to see, you know, our receivers running by people. They want to see, you know, our running backs, you know, Barry, they want to see him, you know, bowling people over.
Well, I'm a steamroller, babe. I'm bound to roll all over you.
respect the most that they play the game the old-fashioned way. They run it down your throat. You know, they make you stop the run. If you can't stop the run, they'll run it on you all day. Everybody's going to play a part in that offense, and that's what they do so well. So what they do is they ask everybody to load up their lunch bucket and come to work, and then they work.
Perhaps nothing typifies the Steelers' season more than last week's win over Seattle. Despite numerous turnovers, the loss of quarterback Neil O'Donnell with a broken leg, and trailing 14-10, they still managed to win with time winding down.
This past game was I think was the most scariest point for anybody on the team. Coming out on that last 5 to 7 minutes of the game, that we still had an opportunity to win.
We knew that we still had a chance to win. And our players just, you know, everything started to go right, just as it has all year long in the fourth quarter.
They give to Foster, running to the left, drives to the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown.
Right now, we're playing really good team football, very aggressively. We're starting to really believe in ourselves. We're playing with a sense of purpose and a sense of confidence.
I heard Jack Lambert one time say, if he had to do it all over again, that he wouldn't even play unless he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's just something like that that makes you have chills and stuff. And when you run out of the tunnel in this stadium, that's the way football is meant to be played. It's just hard-working bunch of guys that come together and will not be denied, do whatever it takes to get the job done. And I think that's the heart and soul of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Interesting comments by the players. What general sense did you get from them about why things have turned around?
They view Bill Cowher as a very smart, enthusiastic older brother. He is a pal to them. He doesn't criticize them. He would never yell in front of other players. He would never yell a player in front of other players. And basically, I think the most important thing is that he has taught them very hard about sticking in there for 60 minutes. And that's why they've been able to pull these games out in the last few seconds, a number 5 times this season. That's a pretty good percentage.
Okay, Gail, thanks a lot. Now we'll send it back to Dick Enberg and Bob Trumpy after these messages from your local station.
Back at Rich Stadium, they're happy here. The weather has been kind on this Sunday, and Buffalo with a big second quarter, 3 touchdowns to take a 21-0 lead. The course line halftime statistics read this way. The total yards, I guess, would be key, with the Bills racking up some big yards and less than 100 for Denver. And this, the spirit of the 12th man here at Rich Stadium, they're honoring the fans, great fans here in Buffalo, and everyone here got this commemorative coin that honors this day in Rich Stadium. And we had to go and give O.J. Simpson some lessons in flipping these things. What he usually says, heads I win, tails you lose, and that's a real tough one. But O.J. is going to be flipping the coin out in Pasadena at the Super Bowl. Isn't that a terrific honor?
Yeah, I don't think he can mess that up.
No.
I think all he has to do is just get it in here.
Can we
well, he should practice, though. You're right.
Yeah, that's a great honor. We're pleased for O.J., and of course he's on that Hall of Fame wall here at Rich Stadium, along with the 12th man. The juice. Denver needs just that as we go to the second half. Broncos down 21-0, and Buffalo gets the ball first. Kenneth Davis a little trouble handling the football. He better hurry and get control, because that's a free ball in the end zone. He bobbles it one more time, and Denver gets a free score. It was the reverse triple pass and BB wide open that opened it up for Buffalo.
This is the play that influenced the defense so much. The double reverse, the pitch back to Kelly, and the cornerback bit. And BB is absolutely wide open down there. And you're right, that set the mood. Before that, Buffalo couldn't do anything. And after that, Buffalo got its offensive act together.
And Jim Kelly, a solid first half. Thurman Thomas, what a 1-2 punch. And Thomas predictably gets the first opportunity of the second half and carries it out to about the 23-yard line. Simon Fletcher, 73, makes the stop.
Dick, we mentioned in the pregame that there's so many individual stars here on the Buffalo team that it's hard for the coaching staff to get the team up. Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly stepped up in the first half, established the emotion of the offense, performed to the level that got him the 21 points in that first half, and that's what you need out of your star players. Star performances.
And there's one of their star linemen, Will Wolford, pulled back on his stance. 5-yard penalty. And Buffalo perfect after a slow start. Last 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. Started with a long pass to Beebe. 3 wides in Thomas. That's what Kelly wanted. Over the middle, through the hands of Beebe as he was sprinting into the clear. That could have been another big one.
Boy, that looked like initially it was going to Pete Metzelaars, the tight end. They were running. Watch Metzelaars on the inside. He's looking back. No, it's going to Beebe. It was inside the defensive back's hand. I think the defensive back probably shielded Beebe's eyes, and he couldn't make the catch. That would have gone a long way with his speed.
Beebe with a good first half, 104 yards. Kelly now 11 for 16. It's a 3rd and 11 play. Much pressure on him. Fletcher finally gets to Kelly as he throws, and the ball wobbles away from everyone out of bounds. So Thurman Thomas was the closest blue jersey. Let's look at Simon Fletcher. We can't talk too much about this defensive end.
Again, coming from the outside, Parker, 74, comes out to assist, and Billy's flush from the pocket. Not a big linebacker, but a very quick linebacker.
The second Buffalo punt as Chris Moore will kick it to Arthur Marshall. Marshall back at the 37 of Denver. Boy, wobbly kick. Marshall's had trouble with his footing all day. But Tasker is the first man downfield just ever so consistently. Out of bounds at the 46. Broncos start near midfield. Here's a look at tomorrow's lineup beginning at 12:30 Eastern with NFL Live. And many of you will see Barry Foster and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who watch with interest this game as home field advantage now being played out in the final few weekends of the regular season. Also New England, Kansas City, Cleveland, Detroit, Colts and Jets, and the one late game, the Bengals at San Diego. The Chargers are something like a 14-point favorite, and no one can remember the last time San Diego was favored to win by that much.
Quick word from the Bronco bench. Vance Johnson, full hamstring, out for the rest of the day.
Tommy Maddox being chased by Odoms, and Bennett has a first down at the Buffalo 43-yard line. Maddox, a young man who elected to come out after his sophomore season at UCLA. He said, what a year. I'm drafted #1. I'm married, and now here I am playing for John Elway.
And even though he came out after his sophomore year, as you watch him on the scramble, he had been at UCLA for 3 years. He had a red shirt year. I think the NFL wants to make sure that everyone, all the underclassmen out there, understand that he was in college for 3 years.
2 playing years, and he had over 5,000 yards passing, the first time anyone in Pac-10 history had accumulated that kind of yardage in their freshman and sophomore seasons.
That was Reggie Rivers breaking out of his stance a little prematurely. Another flag now on Denver.
And that's the change of quarterbacks again. False start.
Start, offense, number 38, before the snap, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
I don't know how you account for this, but this Denver team, unfortunately, has to be one of the worst teams in the NFL on the road this year. 1-5, staring at 1-6, averaging 9 points scored in the games away.
Only four games they didn't score a touchdown, right? On the road.
Right. 4 touchdowns they've scored on the road. 3 of those came in 1 game.
And that was in part most of the time with Elway.
Yeah. I mean, this is a young team Dan Reeves has here. 20 players with 2 years or less experience. And you have to learn how to win on the road.
And next to Cincinnati, because Cincinnati, Denver, the 2 youngest teams in the league. So the rebuilding already for the next cycle under Reeves, if he is still their head coach. The throw is to Rivers. And Darryl Talley gets him out of bounds around the 41-yard line, along with Nate Odoms.
How young are they? Look at that. And consider that the Broncos are in the conference championship game last year. So this team, Dan Reeves is, I don't think he's tricked anybody, but he has made the choice that we need new blood, and he's not been bashful in bringing it in.
Yeah, they're here without their #1 runner, Gaston Green, their #1 quarterback, John Elway, today against the perennial AFC Eastern champions. And again, a flag before the snap, and it appeared to be Reggie Johnson, who knew he'd moved too soon. Come out in a double tight end here in the second half.
False start, offense, number 89, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
89 top of the screen. Darryl Talley taps, "You're it." And it's 5 yards against the Broncos. Talley said, "Yeah, he did it. He did it. I saw him."
Reggie gets his picture on national television. Darryl Talley. So the last two of Moore's snaps have created false start penalties.
And he's on the sideline, and Maddox comes in.
There's that shovel pass. Bruce Smith. Almost intercepted. It's an incomplete pass, not a fumble. Even though that's a play in the backfield, it is a forward pass. And boy, you better put some broomsticks on both ends of that pumpkin. He couldn't quite find the handle.
This play is blown up from the outset. Bruce Smith is chasing him. Cornelius Bennett knocks
2, 3, 4. It was getting the nose. See, he had it all right, but it was the nose bob. That's the one that blew the interception.
Oh.
Papa George down in Norfolk, rooting for him, former professional boxer. He boxed that one around, didn't he?
Smith.
Here he comes again, and he forces a turnover. Buffalo's ball at the 44-yard line. Henry Jones covers. Smith made the play.
Well, when we talked to Russell Freeman several weeks ago, one of the things about this left tackle is that he faces an awful lot of power and big and quick pass rushers. Derek Thomas in Kansas City, Rufus Porter in Seattle, but Bruce Smith has given him his baptism today.
Another turnover, a rough day for young Sean Moore. Kenneth Davis for Thurman Thomas, and the tackle made by Mike Kroll. Davis, more than a capable backup to Thurman Thomas. He has 536 yards rushing this year, 4.7 average. He was in the Heisman race 8 years ago as one of the stars of the Horned Frogs at TCU. That was his first rush today. And right back to Davis, and Simon Fletcher makes another play. And if you're going to, they're about to vote for the Pro Bowl. If you wanted to have a game where you attract some attention, Simon Fletcher is doing it.
Yeah, I called him earlier not a big linebacker. He's tall, 6'6", but at 240 pounds, he's not a hefty linebacker. And Parker, 74, was supposed to kick him out, but Fletcher's speed, he's right there to almost take the handoff.
3rd and 10. Draw play to Davis. And it's Kroll to make another solid stop. No, give credit to Keith Traylor in there getting some action. Traylor from Central Oklahoma, 260-pounder. And when he hits you, it's not just the truck, it's the trailer as well.
You stay hit. Dick, we noticed here, this is the coaching booth of the Buffalo Bills. And a moment ago, they had a hairdryer in there. The coaches won't open the window. It's too cold. This is Charlie Joyner, my old teammate and the receiver coach here, had to defog the coaching box.
Moore's punt. Fair catch. Marshall at the 15-yard line. A flag is down. And they'll bring that one back, apparently. A 38-yard punt. If it is against Denver, it wouldn't be enough for a first down. It's 4th down at about 6. And apparently from Levy's reaction, it is against Denver, and he'll say we'll take the kick at the 15. Afforded such luxury with a 21-0 lead.
Foul on the play. First down.
Yeah, I'm glad we waited for that. We'll be right back. Dan Reeves, who likes to have quotations on his wall, has one from Tom Landry saying that coaching is a teaching, learning experience. When you win, you teach. When you lose, you learn. And these last 4 weeks have been a learning experience for the all-time winningest Denver coach. He goes with Maddox, play action from the 15. And a tough throw to Mark Jackson. Excellent coverage from Kirby Jackson.
You know, Dick, back to that quote on Tom Landry's wall. I think most coaches like to teach a lot and learn a little in a given season. In the beginning part of the season, Dan Reeves was teaching a great deal. They were very successful. And of course, his idea for the combination quarterback came when he was a player with Tom Landry in Dallas. And this guy is one of the quality people and coaches you can find in the NFL.
Yeah, fans will remember in '71, Landry shuttled Roger Staubach, a young quarterback, with veteran Craig Morton. Oh, what a collision, and Shannon Moore can't hang on. Nate Odoms going for the agate. Shannon sharp.
Well, unfortunately, today's performance, nothing like last week's performance. They lost to Dallas, but the Denver Bronco offense produced over 300 yards of offense. Today, they've had little or no luck. Without the turnovers that Buffalo's had today, I don't know what the score of this game might have been.
Well, you talk about the terrible road record for Denver, 1-5, barely able to score, and yet at home, they're 6-1, and they lost to Dallas last week, and Dallas had to score in the final minutes to beat them at Mile High. They really are Jekyll Hyde. Maddox. And can't get out of bounds. Cornelius Bennett, he can run with any quarterback.
Yeah, that's not a foot race many quarterbacks going to win. Cornelius Bennett, of course, when he went to Alabama with the hopes of being a tight end. He was there a grand total of 1 day, and they said, son, you're a linebacker, and he has been ever since.
He said, and so went my dreams of being the next Ozzie Newsome. I grew up thinking I was going to be Ozzie.
He was encouraged to go to Alabama by Ozzie, too. He helped in the recruiting.
Darren Parker loads it high toward Clifford Hicks at the 37 of Buffalo. Hicks to the 40. Parker to beat. And Parker gets him out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Parker's returned by Clifford Hicks. 44-yard punt, 41-yard return.
Well, it's taken him a while, but now the Buffalo Bills beginning to play like their character. Good special teams. Marv Levy insists upon that. Excellent defense. Levy insists upon that. This is a little more like the reigning AFC champion Buffalo Bills.
Will McDonough made a good point in NFL Live that the Bills show their strength and their extraordinary talent when they play the challenging game. And we saw that 49er game, and they were brilliant. And with lesser opponents, they seem to play down to that level. And many in Buffalo were worried that might happen today, even though they were huge favorites. Fletcher can't get Kelly. Kelly does get Andre Reed, his first catch today. Now that is somewhat symptomatic of the Bills' problems the last 2 weeks. Andre Reed, in fact, in the last 7 games, this all-pro receiver has caught 17 balls. Only 17 in the last 7 games, his first today.
But Dick, let me give you part of my theory on that. You look as a defensive coordinator at your opponent's greatest threat as a receiver, and it's obviously Andre Reed. He's going to draw double coverage with my defense. I'll leave James Lofton alone with somebody else. That's one of the reasons he's been taken out of the offense.
The delay to Thomas. He squirts to the 12. Greg Reagan probably saved a touchdown. Thomas was on his way. Mecklenburg was there as well.
They lead 21-0. They still have to travel to New Orleans and Houston, and Buffalo's got to play a whole bunch better next weekend if they hope to compete with the New Orleans Saints. That may be the best defense alive in the NFL.
What a group of linebackers. You know, it just seemed like there's 3 men in on every tackle. You wonder how many guys they put on the field. 1st and 10 for Buffalo. Play action Kelly. He's got Reed open for a moment. Now he throws too late. Incomplete. That was a matter of Reed flashed open early, and Kelly couldn't quite get it there. Still wanted to give him the chance, but by then, 2 men on him.
Again, there was good pressure by Simon Fletcher. Harwell Gardner tries to block him. A mismatch. Fletcher runs right over him. Mr. Fletcher has left an impression here today.
Yeah, he's distinguished himself. 2nd and 10. Thomas. Oklahoma State star inside the 10-yard line where Kenny Walker drags him down. Reagan there as well. Well, just fun as you look at Walker, and if we have a chance, he carries with him his own interpreter because of his deafness, and even in the national anthem, it was being interpreted, the lyrics interpreted to him so he could be part of the anthem process.
That was Guy Smith. I was about to circle him there. That's his signer on the sideline.
Now 3rd and 7. Again, it's Thomas. Oh, fine play by veteran Dennis Smith, charging from his safety spot. So the field goal unit on for Buffalo.
Dennis Smith, throughout his career, he's been firing up at the line of scrimmage. You'll see him just appear in the picture. That's the way strong safeties are taught to support on the run.
Yep, some 11, 12 years ago, Ronnie Lott, Dennis Smith, the safeties for the Southern California Trojans.
And they lived in the same house with one Marcus Allen. How about that place?
Christie from 29 yards. It's there. Another 3 for the Bills, who take a 24-0 lead. Christie has made 20 of 24 this year. Now there's the answer to the question, who's the leading scorer in the NFL? Steve Christie now with 101 points, 2 ahead of Pete Stoyanovich of Miami. He kicks it to Alton Montgomery. Montgomery, ooh, what a solid tackle at the 27-yard line. Mark Maddox making the hit for Buffalo. Christmas Day. NBC has a special present for you. First at 3 o'clock Eastern, David Robinson. The Spurs face the Clippers. Then primetime, 8 o'clock Eastern. A look back at some of the athletes who made the Barcelona Olympics special. An Olympic Christmas, Barcelona memories, all capped off with Michael Jordan. The world champion Bulls take on the team that pushed them to the limit in last season's playoffs. Patrick Ewing and the Knicks. That's all on Christmas Day. Sports NBC. Denver down 24-0 with less than 7 minutes left in the 3rd period. Almost intercepted. Darryl Talley, he's come close to a couple today. I guess if Maddox's arm was hit or the ball was deflected.
It's a quick setup. You'll see it from behind the offense. Reggie Rivers goes to left. 1, 2, 3. I couldn't tell if there was contact. If there was, that was a great pass rush, because the defender was right there in 3 steps. I'm not sure what Dan Reeves will do with the tape, the film of this game. I'm not sure this is worth showing to your players when you get back to Denver.
And a hunt for something positive on offense. Sean Moore on the screen to Reggie Rivers. And Rivers, good running, breaks tackles and fights for a first down. Although stepped out of bounds, didn't get it at the 38-yard line, so he'll be about a half-yard shy. Henry Jones, the tackle. It's close enough for a measurement.
Well, it's hard to imagine that the last time you and I saw the Denver Broncos, if I'm not mistaken, they were 5-2. They were 5-0 in the conference. They were 3-0 in the division. And this team coming into this game was the only team outscored, outgained, outrushed, and had a winning record in the NFL.
Yeah, they're 24th in the NFL in offense, 24th in defense. He did get the first down. 24th, and yet still in a position for a playoff. Now, you got to give someone credit for that, and I start right with that picture, the head man Reeves.
Yeah, I think what he has done with, in years, a questionable offense, in years with a very smallish defense, to continually produce a winner year after year after year in Denver. He's not been given enough credit for it in this season by the owner of this franchise.
On first down, Rivers running to the 40. Okay, let's talk about Reeves then, and all the rumors that are floating that they're familiar up in Denver and some places, but a lot of folks around the country are saying Dan Reeves might not be with the Broncos. Where would he go?
You won't go to Phoenix. He can do a lot better than that.
Where do you think he might go?
I think a natural fit would be something like, and I hate to mention a franchise, but there is certainly a conversation that there might be an opening in Atlanta.
Well, that would be a fit. He's from nearby, Americus, Georgia.
But I don't know if that's true. I mean, you just hear his name mentioned. He's too good a coach to be unemployed in the NFL.
Well, he wants to stay in Denver. Let's finish with that. Sean Moore has to take it himself, and does he ever? Darryl Talley applying the punishing blow. Short yardage for Moore, and Maddox will take his turn.
But, Dick, you mentioned, yes, Dan Reeves, I do believe, wants to stay in Denver. But I think there's a matter of pride, one, involved. Two, if ownership wants control, if I'm Dan Reeves, I say, okay, what have I done wrong? What haven't I produced for this football team that you think you can produce?
What if it's assistant coaches? That was the talk.
Hey, Marty Schottenheimer left the Cleveland Browns because of assistant coaches. Was unemployed about a week and a half. It goes to Kansas City. That's not a good enough reason to fire a coach.
Maddox, but out of bounds with the catch is Arthur Marshall. Good try by Marshall, but clearly off the field of play. And roll up another 3 and out.
Well, I don't know if you give credit to the Buffalo defense for its performance today or the mix and match quarterbacks, the M&M kids.
Yeah. Bruce Smith. You talk about the new NFL Players Association deal with the NFL. If it materializes and if they turn some folks loose as free agents, that also brought a smile yesterday from Bruce Smith.
A big one.
Parker's punt is very short. Clifford Hicks had a 41-yard return on his last effort, returns it across the 35-yard line. Timeout, 5:11 remaining in the third. Don't know if that's the spirit of Kelly or the spirit of the 12th person, but it's a worthy face to carry the message.
This is a hardy bunch up here in Buffalo, you know.
Boy, look at this picture. Look at the color area. You can't find an empty seat. Many folks are sitting on ice and snow as much as they tried to clean it. Here to cheer their Bills, 80,000 strong. Yeah, they deserve to have that 12th man sign up on the wall.
It snowed something like 12 to 15 inches in the last 36 hours here in Buffalo. People spent the night in the parking lot.
Thurman Thomas racking up some more yardage from scrimmage. He'll be over 100 yards today as Steve Atwater finally gets the push out of bounds. 16 on the play.
And if you're wondering why Thurman Thomas is still in there, the one record that I think Thurman Thomas would be most proud of possessing is the 4th straight year of leading the NFL in all-purpose yardage. The record he now shares with Jim Brown. He wants to pile as many yards on as he can.
Not many opportunities for even the greatest in this game to erase Jim Brown's name from the record.
Absolutely.
He's had 3 straight 100-yard rushing games. Kelly going deep to Reed and playing it perfectly is Atwater. Steve Atwater at the 15. And Atwater, the smiling assassin, out to the 31-yard line. Kelly picked off for the second time in the game with 4:34 left in the third quarter. The Broncos will get another chance. Back in foggy Buffalo, Charlie Waters, former Dallas Cowboy defensive star, with Steve Atwater. Atwater picked as one of the 10 men that Bill Parcells would begin an NFL franchise with. Well,
what is that?
They come and I guess it isn't the 12th man that they celebrate here today. It's the 12th person.
My goodness, that's not smart.
Must be a line there somewhere, but
probably better to just let that go by the
I was leaving it for you.
A little deeper this time, and Jackson had to turn for the ball and knew he's going to have company, unable to haul it in. All right, what does this game mean for those who follow Buffalo and those who around the country might not be rooting for the Bills? They have a game lead on Miami, but they're not free and clear even with a win today over the Dolphins, because the Bills, as we said earlier, have to play at New Orleans tough, at Houston tough. Miami's Raiders, Jets, and Patriots represent 3 winnable games. If they win all 3 and the Bills lose 1, Miami wins the AFC East. Moore has a man open. It's Sharp, and Shannon Sharp takes it down to the Buffalo 34-yard line. Talley makes the stop.
Oh, I like this kid, Shannon Sharp. We know he's a competitor. His older brother Sterling, 3 years older, made sure of that. Well, it's a cute story yesterday that they used to play basketball on the farm down in Georgia, and the hoop was made out of the rim of a 10-speed bicycle. Now that's making do.
And he said, I couldn't beat Sterling until I was a sophomore. By then we had a real basket, and when I beat him one-on-one, I cut down the nets and ran into the house.
Yeah, and he also took a year off. He wouldn't play him for a year.
Greg Lewis, tackled by Marcus Patton there, Shannon Sharp, who went to Savannah State. He said, I was a prop 48. Didn't follow my brother to South Carolina. Was recruited by some big schools. He figured, I'm going to go to Savannah State, get my grades in order. He graduated. He said, and Savannah State was kind to me, the Tigers. What a family. Both were 84. You think those Sharps down in Georgia? I'm proud of their son. Said, I'm only 50 behind my brother. I'm still competing. He has 3 today. Sean Moore drilled by Bruce Smith. Another sack for Smith. 13 for the year. Make it 14. 2 today.
He gets the sack, but Freeman didn't do a bad job on him. Russell Freeman. This was a covering sack. He jumps inside, gets help from Davidson, but then Freeman turns him loose. And boy, you can't turn a guy like Bruce Smith loose on your quarterback. You may pick him up in pieces.
Now we're talking about basketball and the Sharps. He too a basketball fan and was on the Norfolk high school team that won the state championship. I thought he could take you down into the box and rebound with you. Well, he's a little too eager this time. No free play.
Actually, that looked like Lanier move.
That's what Smith was saying with body language, that he rotated his torso.
He rocked back. Let's see who they get.
Offside defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, I'll tell you though, Ken Lanier moved his shoulders, and Bruce Smith, the secret to being a great pass rusher is the first step. See if you can see right in front of Bruce Smith if he doesn't move. See the way he moves? And they caught the defensive man. They're holding hands because of the crowd noise here in Rich Stadium, but it should have been on the offensive guy.
Did you ever hold hands with a teammate on the line of scrimmage? Pass was low and incomplete, intended for Cedric Tillman. Tillman, who had that flea flicker long pass against Dallas. It went some 81 yards.
To answer your question about holding hands on the line of scrimmage, no, that's relatively new. I've not seen a lot of teams do that, but it's a very good idea.
What does it actually account for?
Well, I think the guard has a better chance of looking at the football, and he can watch the ball snap. The tackle has to watch the defensive end, so he can't even look at the football. And when the guard moves from looking at the football, then the tackle knows he can move.
And as long as you're not in a three-point stance, the fumble, as Phil Hansen was in early, but was he drawn offside?
Also a flag. I like the idea of holding hands for communication.
Defense, encroachment, 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
So he went for it on 1 4th down. Obviously, he's going to go for it on the next 4th down, right?
That's right. Down to the 27-yard line. The 9th Buffalo penalty today. Well, leading 24-0, the Bills are teeing off. They're going to take some chances, and any movement is, or even any guess might bring that kind of penalty.
Boy, any kind of points for Denver today. Convert this 4th down to a 1st down. Just something positive to build on, you know, anything.
Fans aren't bored. They're on their feet making noise. Maddox to Tillman. And Nate Odom's had him shadowed, and now a flag goes down.
Boy, that is a late flag.
Some of the fans across the way firing snowballs at the officials. And it is against Odoms. Down around the 5-yard.
Throwing things on the field.
Defensive pass interference, number 37, spot foul, 1st down.
Throwing snowballs on the football field is one of the dumbest things you can do. You might hit one of your own players in the eye. Let's see if we can pick up the contact. Yeah, there's Odoms, arm across the front.
Yep.
And it looked like the official couldn't pull the flag out of his pocket.
That's a good call. Tillman,
absolutely.
If he's not being held back, he's one step farther downfield, and the ball's right there. So 1st and goal at about the 3.
Oh, what a hit on Reggie Rippers. Cornelius Bennett.
After contact, the next thing that hit was shoulder blades. I mean,
D. Cleater.
Biscuit comes through here untouched. Goodness. That is a picture-perfect tackle for little or no game.
And Shane Collin right there to add his force of 230 pounds. Gain of a yard, 2nd and goal.
Throw, and it's Shannon Sharp unable to pull it in. Kirby Jackson, the defender.
Well, you can see the athletic ability of this young man. He stayed with that ball, twisted around. This is a good fake by Maddox. It draws people up. Now watch Shannon Sharp when he can't hang on to it. Body turns, concentration on the football, still trying to keep his feet in bounds. That takes some athletic ability.
Sharp, who has a chance with his brother to be the first combination to ever lead their respective teams, 2 different NFL teams, pass receptions in the same year.
Rivers has a blocker out there, but can't get in. Henry Jones came up from safety, helped by Shane Conlon. 4th and goal from the 1.
I don't think this takes much of a decision on Dan Reeves' part. Obviously, you go for it. He runs out of real estate. Good pull by Jeff Davidson, but Jones just beats him to the outside, and Rivers can't stretch the ball across the goal line.
Maddox stays at quarterback. 7 straight passes incomplete for him. Oh, a little shift out on the goal line. One expects a roll this way. Sharp.
Oh, he still caught it.
Boy, you were right. What athletic talent. It went off Kirby Jackson. It appeared the body or Henry Jones, and Shannon Sharp maintaining his concentration, able to rip it back and score a most unusual touchdown.
That ball was underthrown. Jones, 20, is not looking at the ball, but watch Sharp reach around the back of Jones to make the one-arm catch. How about that?
That's a terrific play. Against the man who leads the NFL in interceptions, Jones with 8.
All right, Brother Sterling, can you top that tomorrow?
You know he's watching. David Treadwell's try for point. Treadwell, who missed 3 field goals in the AFC Championship a year ago in a 10-7 defeat. So Shannon Sharpe, that's a long-distance call to Sterling of the Green Bay Packers. 24-7. 1:06 left in the third quarter. It was a 70-yard drive aided by some penalties in 9 plays. Second touchdown of the year for Sharpe. Well, tomorrow, look at our schedule here on NBC. 12:30 kickoff time for NFL Live. Pittsburgh, with a win against the Bears in Chicago, would clinch the Central Division. And New England, Kansas City, the Chiefs tied in wins and losses with San Diego. Cleveland still with hopes against Detroit. Indianapolis and the Jets, and Cincinnati against surprising San Diego. Stan Humphries, quarterback for the Chargers, who could well have been a Denver Bronco. Onside kick, and did it go the 10 yards? If it did, it certainly caught Buffalo ill-prepared this early in the game. Still in the third quarter, Dan Reeves goes to the onside, and Brad Deluiso may have recovered his own kick. That's a daily double for him.
And last year, of course, he kicked for the Buffalo Bills.
Deluiso, here's a man who's certainly the long and short of it. He kicks the ball so deep that of 54 kickoffs this year, only 11 have been returned. So everyone's back, and so he just goes the short way, and Denver has the ball right back.
You know, I thought that ball hit number 54, Keith Traylor, on the leg. The first time I saw that, it looked like it hit Traylor, which would have made it an illegal onside kick. But the second time in the slow motion, I don't think there was contact made, so Denver keeps the ball.
At the 47-yard line, a minute remaining in the third period. Well, a quick strike here, and things could become nervous for Buffalo. Maddox wide open is Arthur Marshall, and Marshall with a good move, looking for a block. Oh, and Nate Odoms, he didn't see Odoms from the far side, hits him at the 25-yard line. Marshall gets 28 yards, but does he have all his faculties?
I don't know how he missed him. He was looking downfield to make another move, but the kid is up, heading back to the huddle, ready for the next play.
Free agent out of the University of Georgia.
There were lots of people chasing him. You can see that. He's looking downfield. Bam! He sees his teammate, and then Odom's that's chin on chin. This ought to be something. Jackson passes in front of him. Oh, defend yourself, young man.
First down at the 25 of Buffalo. Sean Moore's turn. Henry Jones caught it, but out of bounds. I kind of think that Sean Jones might have some discussions during the course of the week on that particular pass.
Yeah, he's tried that.
Sean Moore, rather. 3
times. Kelso's got him twice. Jones gets him this time, but luckily it's out of bounds.
Passes that seem to have little chance for the receiver to catch it, but the defender wide open.
Yeah. I got to make this comment too. We talked a lot about Dan Reeves. His team has not quit offensively or defensively. Down like they are still making the effort on every down.
Maddox in, final play, third quarter. Underneath to Mark Jackson, and Jackson is inside the 15. That'll be good enough for a first down. Cornelius Bennett finally gets him to the ground, and we'll return to Buffalo after these words from your local station. Dick Enberg and Bob Trumpy, welcome back to Rich Stadium, where the fans, they know what they want from Santa. That home field advantage, so important. And in the last, 7-8 years, the home field has held up all the way to the Super Bowl.
Well, I like that guy's little son. He even had lights on that thing. Did you see that? The lights were shining. Now, that's a guy who is in the Christmas spirit.
Denver trying to make a game of it. They have a first down inside the Bills 15 as we start the fourth quarter. Greg Lewis Greeted by Jeff Wright. In fact, going back to home field advantage, since the AFC and NFC got this thing going around, 17 of the last 22 AFC representatives in the Super Bowl, all but 5, have had home field in the championship game, in the AFC championship game. So it's no minor goal for these teams, and Marv Levy knows the advantages. The last 2 years, all those playoff games up here in Buffalo. On 2nd and 8. Maddox. Way out of the end zone. Not close, intended for Arthur Marshall. Sean Moore, rather, was the thrower on that one. Arthur Marshall, the intended receiver. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 10-3, a game ahead of Buffalo for home field advantage at the moment. Play at Chicago, and then have the Vikings and the Browns. Not easy games at all. That's 3 good challenges for the Steelers. Buffalo at Saints, at Oilers. Tough games as well.
Yeah, and of course, if Pittsburgh loses one game, Buffalo wins out. They're tied. Buffalo has already beaten Pittsburgh 28-20 earlier in the season. Back to home field advantage for the Bills.
Now it's Maddox. And the revolving door used by Dan Reeves. Quarterbacks, Darryl Talley puts Tillman down. And Moore will come in.
Actually,
he won't. Treadwell's going to come in on 4th down. They're not going to go for it here at the 9-yard line, and Treadwell will go for the field goal that would bring the Broncos within 2 touchdowns.
Well, he does not like to kick in this stadium, does not have good memories about it. The sooner he can get out of here, the better. Don't invite me back to Buffalo. Thank you very much. I'll take the Buffalo Wings and go home.
And he didn't hit the extra point by too much, did he? 26-yard attempt, and it's good.
Man, how much would Denver have loved to have one of those last January? Not today.
You want to be my marketing vice president? Even paper, you can even sell paper sacks when you 3-4 times in a row AFC Eastern champions. I don't quite understand that trio. Now Dalwiso hits this one deep, very deep, as he has all season long. 3 kickoffs today for Dalwiso, 3 not returned, as he continues to be toughest in the league, and he earns a salary just doing one thing, kicking the ball so no one else gets a chance to play.
A real professional football specialist. He did that against the prevailing breeze here in Rich Stadium. That was an impressive kickoff.
And valuable enough that the Bills kept him last year to serve in that role. But even the onside kick not returned. So even when he doesn't kick it in the end zone, the opponent's denying.
Kelly is still in there, Dick. So is Thurman Thomas. I'm kind of surprised here.
Yeah, almost a full quarter to go. A 2-touchdown lead. Batted in the air, and Kelly was able to break up the chance for an interception on the deflection. Shane Dronette, the rookie from Texas, number 99, in on the play.
Well, the worst thing you can do when you're ahead 24-10 is get a little lackadaisical in your fundamentals. Jim Kelly didn't appear to set up very crisply there, and allowed Dronette to get his hand up. He's thrown out here to Thurman Thomas. A good pass protection by Howard Ballard. Maybe Dronette was just lucky. He got his hand in the way.
Simon Fletcher had his hands on the deflection, and Kelly there to break it up. Thomas dragged down after a gain of 3 yards. Michael Brooks and Keith Traylor making the tackle. Traylor's in there now for Carl Mecklenburg. I don't know if Mecklenburg injured. We haven't seen much of him this second half.
One other note, I noticed that Greg Cragen is out of the lineup, and Brian Sauché has moved into nose tackle. No report on injuries. There's Cragen on the sideline.
Thomas now 80 yards rushing. This is a 3rd and 7 play. Denver trying to hold, get the ball again. Oh, deflected by Lilo Lang and James Lofton, unable to pull it in. And Kelly 3 and out, using less than a minute. The Broncos get the ball back.
Well, that they experienced this, you know, when they've been in tight football games, and they use the hurry up at the line of scrimmage offense, and they go 3 downs and out. The time of possession for this The Buffalo Bills football team over the last couple of years has been shocking.
Chris Moore to kick it to Arthur Marshall. Short. And a fair catch at the 42-yard line of Denver. 40-yard punt. Following our action here from Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, the Heisman Trophy will be announced. The 1992 winner. And here favoring Miami quarterback Gino Torretta. He's there in New York at the Downtown Athletic Club. Marshall Faulk comes from the West. Brilliant running back for the San Diego State Aztecs. And Garrison Hurst and the Georgia Bulldogs. Those are the three invited. So it figures to be a three-man race with the odds on Torretta. Faulk's chances went with an injury, probably. I know he was drawing tremendous attention in the far west, that he would have swept most of the votes in the west the way he was running the ball. But you'll get the answer, and all the shivers that go with the prestigious Heisman Award live after the game. Maddox giving a little Elway roll, and then tried to hit Mark Jackson, who was hit by Conley.
Maybe you can do that in the Pac-10. You don't throw late down the middle. And the other guys get it, or you send the receiver off on a stretcher. This is taking a heck of a chance, and Jackson knows the crowd that's in there. Talley is the one behind him, and Conlon is the one that hits him. Well, you don't make friends with your receivers when a quarterback does that. It throws it to you in there. You don't like putting your hands up to catch it.
Triple right formation. Sharp in the slot. And Moore, a little quarterback draw. That was a design running play. And Moore has nearly 10 yards to the Buffalo 47 before the safeties, Kelso and Jones, can make the stop.
Dick, I think that was designed to be a shovel pass. They were trying to get that ball to Reggie Rivers. But the defense collapsed the whole thing, and Sean Moore had to just run the ball.
Talked about the time of possession. Denver with considerably more time than the Bills, but that's been the story with this hurry-up offense of the Buffalo Bills. They don't take the 40 seconds, 44 seconds between plays. They're running them off 20, 25 seconds. It was a first down for Moore. Now it's Maddox to Mark Jackson, incomplete. Even if he'd caught it, it'd been good for only a couple of yards. Last season, the Bills averaged only 26 minutes, 4 seconds time of possession per game. By far, almost a full minute less than anyone else in the league.
And yet, their scoring last year was incredible. I mean, it makes no difference how long they keep it. Their idea is to get the thing in the end zone, play fast break football, let the defense stop the other end. When it doesn't work, I mean, you're giving the other team a whole bunch of opportunities to win the game.
Down 24-10. Moore back in. And heavy traffic. He's able to feed the ball underneath to Cedric Tillman. And boy, Bruce Smith was just a fingernail away from another sack.
You can see Moore does a good job here of stepping up to avoid the sack. Well, there's two of them there. Cornelius Bennett is also there, and Bruce Smith comes very close to his third sack of the day.
5-yard completion for Sean Moore, and now Tommy Maddox on 3rd and 5. Just under 11 minutes remaining. Tillman, is it a catch? Yes! First down at the 34-yard line. Nate Odoms with the coverage. That's a tough catch for the rookie from Alcorn State, an 11th round pick.
There may not be a tougher catch. His ball it's into the wind. It's really diving down to the ground. Boy, it's cleanly a catch too. Excellent job done by Tillman. Another good drive here by Denver. Now this is part of the tape that you'll sit down if you're Dan Reeves and want your team to watch.
Let's maybe go back to Buffalo needing the challenge, and the Broncos down 24-zip, trying to give it to them here in the 4th. 10 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Moore chased by Bennett. Into a cloud of blue. There was one white jersey, Arthur Marshall. Henry Jones had his sights on number 9, and Bennett was hounding Moore to the sidelines.
From inside linebacker position this week, you can see that they couldn't get a blocker on him. I think that was, I was not sure who the running back was. I was trying to make the block, but Biscuit just ran right away from him.
Well, and the quarterbacks, Moore 5 for 11 passing, Maddox 11 for 25. Maddox turn underneath, hit at the 29-yard line. Kirby Jackson making the tackle, and Arthur Marshall. And that'll be another 5-yard pickup, so it'll be 3rd and 5 once again, as Moore sent in by Dan Reeves, who has a second thought. Bennett slow getting up.
I admire Dan Reeves for staying with Sean Moore and Maddox. He's not changed. He could have gone to a receiver to send the plays in, a running back to send the plays in, but he stayed with both these quarterbacks.
Well, you hear the word stubborn when some folks talk about Dan Reeves, but that's not necessarily a negative for a man that's running a team. I mean, you can't be fenced all and change your minds for everyone. Dan Reeves trying to position the Broncos to seriously challenge Buffalo. With Bob Trumpy, Dick Enberg, Cornelius Bennett. We're looking at his elbow, fell on his elbow, making that last tackle. It's 3rd and 5 for Denver at the Bills' 29-yard line. Buffalo leading 24-10. Broncos mustering a formidable challenge here in the 4th period. And Moore going long. He's got his man Tillman. Oh, out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Just out of bounds, covered by J.D. Williams.
Well, we certainly know which quarterback Dan Reeves thinks throws the fade pattern the best. Sean Moore has thrown this pass left foot down, right foot down out of bounds. Excellent call by the official on the sideline. And when he's not throwing it to Mr. Kelso, Mark Kelso, it's going out of bounds.
That was Williams' defense that forced Tillman to take that other foot out of bounds. He was trying to get it down to drag, could not. So they'll go for it on 4th and 5. Over the middle, complete. It's to Tillman again, and that's a first down. A pickup of about 7 on 4th and 5. So the Broncos continued to fight, staying in this game. 9:10 to go.
They are not going to roll over and play dead for the Buffalo Bills in the cold with their problems. They're going to continue to try to get the ball down the field, much to their credit, much to their head coach's credit, keeping the team in the game.
Wouldn't be a surprise on first down to go for the bundle. We're not looking field goal here. Open underneath is Mark Jackson. Jackson, a cute move inside the 15-yard line to the 13, close to another first down. The 11th play of the drive coming up.
Bruce Smith slow getting up down there on the AstroTurf, and again, it didn't seem very slow getting up, but again, Broncos not going for the big stuff, just finding a receiver out in the flat wide open. Moore does an excellent job of scanning the defense, see if we can happen. Whoa, Bruce Smith gets hit by the center, Keith Karts. This is a legal hit, head in front. And very seldom does an offensive lineman get a free shot at a defensive lineman. They like to take advantage of it. There's an old line in this game: when you're running downfield, your head must be on a swivel.
10 quarterback pressures, that's unofficial today, but that just shows you how Smith has tried to destroy any offensive plans of the Broncos.
172 to center. Smith sees him just at the last moment and gets deposited right on his wallet.
On the measurement, it's about a half-yard shy of a first down. Second down at the 13 of Buffalo. Greg Lewis didn't get much, but didn't need much. A yard will do it. It's a first down at the 12. Shane Conlon, the tackler.
Denver just won't go away here, Dick. Buffalo has not been able to put them out of their misery. discouraged them at some point today, even though they shut him out in the first half.
And Cornelius Bennett staggers off the field again. He's been on and off about 4 times here the second half. Sean Moore, the quarterback. Jackson in motion, a draw play, and good running inside by Greg Lewis, 214-pounder. And he has 6 yards on first down. Conlon, the tackler. A clock running at 7:15 in the 4th period. Well, Dan Reeves' Broncos seem to be out of it. 24-0. Middle of the 3rd quarter. Then a touchdown to Shannon Sharp. Then the field goal after the onside kick was successful, and now they're at the 6-yard line. A touchdown would put them within 7. Rivers inside, and he's to the 1-yard line. It'll be close to another first down.
Dick, they are blowing the defensive line of the Buffalo Bills absolutely off the line of scrimmage. No problem whatsoever from behind the defense. Watch the job. Conlon comes in on a blitz. Good pull around the corner there by Jeff Davidson, 62. And a nice bit of running by Greg Lewis right up through that.
That's Rivers.
Rivers following the guard.
So 4 shots from the 1-yard line for Denver. That's Sharp maneuvering to the right side. Lewis struggling, and the no side touchdown.
Oh, there's a little life on that Denver Broncos sideline now, Dick.
From 24-0, now it's 24-16 as Treadwell comes on for the extra point. Greg Lewis has his 3rd touchdown of the year as he fought his way in that last half yard.
And Dick, this is not a big push him and shove him offensive line of the Denver Broncos, but they got a nice bow in the defensive line of the Buffalo Bills, and now with this extra point, 7 points behind, you know that Denver defense is going to be looking for turnover.
Treadwell gets it. He's flirted with yellow paint twice today. 6 minutes, 13 seconds to go. Denver within 7. That's a team of stars, but 2 of them are wounded on the sidelines. Bruce Smith, Cornelius Bennett. No official word on Smith, but we have heard that Bennett has suffered from a rib injury. Probably won't play the rest of today. 6:13 to go. Denver 24-17 down, and a kick is returned this time by Al Edwards. And Edwards to the 30-yard line. And here comes Kelly and that high-octane offense. NFL line 12:30 tomorrow to start our coverage. Couple of weekends to go, and one of the features, who is the best running back in the National Football League. I'm sure everyone has your opinion. A lot of it based on geography and your favorite team. And there's the up-to-date total yardage from scrimmage as Thurman Thomas edges in front of Barry Foster by 50 yards. And our NFL coverage to follow tomorrow. Carl Mecklenburg back into the defense for Denver. Thurman Thomas ducking under the crowd to the 33-yard line. Pick up of a couple.
Boy, does the Denver defense have an advantage here now. And they're down by 7. They can try stripping the ball. They can try anything they want to get this ball away from the Buffalo Bills. As Bruce Smith is being attended to on the sideline, looked like a wrap is going around his waist. But the Buffalo offense in this second half hasn't done a whole bunch, and they need a long, sustained, serious drive here.
Buffalo with only 1 first down this entire second half. Denver with 13. Kelly under pressure. Oh, what a big play for Kelly to get out of that. Still faking his way out to the 37-yard line. That was such a big play. Denver had him for a huge loss, and finally Kelly moves it upfield, doesn't get the first down, but gives the Buffalo Bills a chance to keep possession.
I frankly don't know how they missed it. That's Fletcher, that's Sauché, 73 and 70. He makes the bump. You know, Andre Reed was open right up here. I don't know if Jim Kelly saw him or not, but if he catches the ball, he runs for another 10 yards. Kelly chooses to run it to bring up the 3rd down.
It's 3rd and 3 officially, but much closer to 2 at the 38-yard line.
Got him to jump.
Yep. They were offside. Doesn't matter. Thomas looks as if he'd had the first down anyway. But the Broncos, in their eagerness, unless drawn offside, had crossed into that neutral zone.
Dan can't complain a whole lot here about drawing him offsides because John Elway is one of the best in the business at that.
Now look where they marked the ball at the 40-yard line. Probably not enough for first down, but the penalty will give it to him.
First down.
First and 10 from the 43.
So that'll take it out to the 43 as Darryl Talley consoling his linebacker mate Cornelius Bennett.
Well, now with 4:30 to go here, Dick, the defense has got to start thinking about calling timeout to save some time for the offense. If they can come up with a good stoppage here on the first or second down, the defense has got to save the offense some time to function.
Denver with a big fourth quarter, and whistle before the snap.
That's the man with the clock, the line judge talking to the referee.
25 seconds showing on the 45-second clock.
Please reset the clock to 4:30. It will start on the snap. First down.
So the original time placed back on the clock, and they'll play it over.
Marv's saying 4:25. It was at 4:25. He keeps saying it's at 4:25. 4:25. 4:25.
Thurman Thomas. Ooh, Steve Atwater rushing up from safety to make one of his typical tough hits. We'll see if that 5 seconds is important. Timeout is called by Denver with 4:20 remaining. The pickup on the play, 4 yards for Thomas. It'll be 2nd and 6 at the Bills' 46 when we come back. Welcome back. Jim Kelly and the Bills had a 21-0 lead at the half, scoring 3 touchdowns in the second period. Started the second half with a 29-yard field goal by Steve Christie to make it 24-0, and back come the Broncos. 1-yard pass, Maddox to Sharp, 24-7. An onside kick led to a 26-yard field goal by Treadwell, and then Gary Lewis from 1 yard out has just scored to make it 24-17. Moore and Maddox, M&M. Like that, tag team is what you called it, Bob Trumpy, and they're looking for a final opportunity as we rejoin play. 2nd down and 6 at the 46-yard line. 4 minutes and 20 seconds left, and Bruce Smith nicked. We don't know how serious that is. They started to wrap him around the waist. He's taking it off, so perhaps that's a sign he's ready to go back in.
Well, he may have to, but the Denver Broncos playing very smart here. The defense has called the timeout. If they can limit the Buffalo Bills here to 2 more downs, get the ball back in the hands of the offense, take your chances. The defense is on the field. There's Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator. The defense is on the field right now saying, get a turnover, strip the ball, do whatever you can to get the ball back. With Smith and Atwater at safety, 2 excellent turnover players.
Tripped up after a gain of just a yard. Greg Cragen back in there, number 71, to make the stop. Timeout number 2 taken by Denver with 4:14 left. Now just looking ahead, Bob Trumpy, would you call your 3rd timeout after the next play, or now with 4:14 left, do you just stay with it? We'll be right back.
Buffalo using that fake reverse and a toss back to quarterback Jim Kelly earlier that led to a 64-yard touchdown pass to Beebe. This time Reed keeps the ball, sweeps the left side, picks up a key first down. Went out of bounds. That stopped the clock. 4:07 left. But Denver's burned 2 timeouts and had a chance to stop the Bills.
Fake to Thurman Thomas, hand to Andre Reed. Dronette almost makes the tackle. Dick, you asked before the commercial, do you take the timeout? Now that they've made the first down, all bets are off. The defense has got one more timeout. It's not looking good for Denver's chances here now.
Thomas stopping, starting, had him for a 3-yard loss. Instead, Thurman Thomas all the way to the 15-yard line.
That's remarkable.
32 yards for Thomas.
He ran to the backside of that play. Totally. Give credit to the defense. 73 Fletcher shuts it down. Kroll can't catch him from behind. A great move on Dimry, 29. And he continues to impress.
119 yards, Thurman Thomas, 4 straight 100-yard games, throwing 39 pass receptions, and he has tossed a little challenge to Chicago and Pittsburgh Steelers Barry Foster. Come and catch me. Kenneth Davis. He gets close to the 10-yard line. Atwater and Smith with the tackle.
Well, they've not made it look easy. The Buffalo Bills do not look offensively the way they have earlier in the season. They're just struggling, fighting themselves more than the opponent did.
The run by Thomas was they finally marked it at the 12-yard line. So check that to the 14-yard line. So it is 2nd and 8. Kenneth Davis gets the first down carry, and Davis stays in. Looking for a block, nothing there. To the 10-yard line, stayed in bounds. Mecklenburg and Kroll.
Mecklenburg and Kroll on the side.
So it's 3rd down and 6 with 3 minutes remaining, and at the 2:57 mark, Dan Reeves decides to spend his 3rd timeout. He's saying that I called it at 3:01 and went down to 2:57.
Well, he's kept his team in this game. This is an admirable performance by the Denver Broncos, considering what they faced. He is still, the wheels are still churning over there. Things are still clicking. He's still encouraging his defense to come up with a turnover. Come on, get the ball back in the hands of the offense.
John Elway, the most painful part of this day is not being able to go in there and do it himself. A man who has rallied his team so many times in the 4th quarter, some 31 career 4th quarter comebacks, 30-0-1 engineered by Elway the Great. And perhaps the most dramatic of all, that first and 98 in Cleveland, as Denver defeated the Browns on their way to a Super Bowl appearance.
I can't imagine anyone doing it any better than he did against Cleveland in the drive. That was a thing of beauty. We'll be replaying that one 300 years from now.
3rd down, 7 at the 10 for Kelly. Davis stacked up in the middle, so they're just setting up the field goal that would give the Bills a 10-point lead. Brian Sauché made the tackle of Davis, as Thomas, after the long run, given that series off.
Okay, now I don't think that Buffalo should they should let the time expire here on the 45-second clock.
Almost, there's still 27 seconds remaining on that.
Yeah, it'll be 2:07 or thereabouts when the 45-second clock expires. No hurry, let it run all the way down.
I think that's what Kelly did. He was halfway off the field, ran back to Tallreich, and let it run down. Yeah. Now at 10. That's what they're going to do. They'll let it get down to 1 call time. That's exactly what they've done. 1 second left on that 45-second clock. Going to call timeout, set it up. 2:08 remaining. The Heisman Award. You'll see the presentation live from the Downtown Athletic Club
in New York City. That to follow, and following the Heisman, you'll see the World Figure Skating 1992 Championships. Christy Yamaguchi, the gold medal winner in the Olympics, the featured performer. Waiting at Falk, Hurst, and Toretta. The knees, I'm sure, are shaken for those fellas, even though Toretta might feel some confidence that he's the front runner until that announcement's made, and so important it is, and not just the career of these men this year, but what it means to them 35, 40 years from now. Christie, dead center. Buffalo 27, Denver 17. 25-yard field goal by Christie.
Awful big play in that drive by Mr. Thurman Thomas, running to the backside of that counter. You know, Dick, we've been featuring what's coming up here with the Heisman Trophy, and I had the good fortune to spend, I think it was 6 or 7 years as a teammate with the only guy that's ever won 2 of those, Mr. Archie Griffin. And I know a lot of other Heisman Trophy candidates, but Archie Griffin, I think, epitomizes what the Heisman Award is all about. One of the grandest gentlemen you'll ever meet. Now works for Ohio State in their athletic department. And if Archie Griffin is like all the rest of the Heisman Award winners, they are special.
O.J. Simpson, who's gone through the personal experience. I remember the tears shed by Penn State's John Cappelletti as he honored his brother who passed with leukemia as he received the award. So all that drama and emotion, honor ahead. Meanwhile, the Denver Broncos have 2:04 remaining, and they're down by 10. A gallant rally of 17 unanswered points stopped by the 25-yard field goal by Christie, and Thurman Thomas, very big part of Buffalo's success today.
Well, they're going to win this game, it certainly appears, unless something strange happens. But these guys have got a mitt-full of football team next weekend in the Superdome in New Orleans.
Denver shackled Emmitt Smith last week, 62 yards, and Thurman Thomas well over 100 today, plus his receiving yards. And remember, a win by the Bills combined with a loss by any one of those 4 teams gives Buffalo a playoff spot. That's the first hurdle, and home field becomes the big bonus for someone. San Francisco and Dallas, New Orleans vying in the Central, and it's Pittsburgh, Buffalo, the front runners in the AFC. Wind picking up, and it's blowing behind this kick that's going to sail all the way into the end zone. Frank Robinson downs it there, and Denver with a 2-minute timeout at 1:58 as the ball. No timeouts. We're pleased to report this afternoon an announcement that an NFL charities grant was made to the New American Schools Development Corporation, making the league's total commitment to the corporation $1 million. NFL charities formed by the NFL clubs so that the clubs could collectively make grants to worthy national causes. Maddox gunning one as far as he can throw it, and almost intercepted, intended for Mark Jackson, and J.D. Williams had his hands on it for Buffalo. Thanks for our help in the booth today, Steve Solomon, Michael Gluck, Rush Schneiderman, and all of our NBC personnel on a very tough weekend. The travel plans, lots of delays, all-night work, setup, snow, logistics people, Susan Stone and all of her aides to move people around, and then many of our cameramen, technicians rushing off for other assignments tomorrow. 2nd and 10, 1:51 to go. Sean Moore, lots of time, and he drills one to Sharp. Shannon Sharp with another catch. He has 5 today. Out across the 30 of first down.
But no timeouts. Sean Moore may have bought himself another play there. You know, if the clock stops, then Tommy Maddox comes in.
That's right. If you don't let the ball hit the ground, you get to stay in and play more than one play. Down the middle to Sharp again. First down at the Buffalo 41-yard line. Moore had to fight his way free from Phil Hansen, who was pressuring him to rush back up to the line of scrimmage. To snap the ball here and throw it in the ground would seem to be a thought. Moore barking out whatever the call is. To the sidelines. Sharp 3 for 3. Dances out at the 36-yard line. And now it's time for the Hager wrinkle-free cotton super play of the game. And this one did have a wrinkle in it. First touchdown of the game.
Rick, this seemed to happen about 3 days ago, but it's called the triple pass. And Don Beebe is the receiver. He does a good job of acting, convinces the corner that it's a reverse, sneaks by 64 yards and a touchdown. That seemed to change the mind of Buffalo. After that, they were in the game.
56 seconds remaining for the Broncos. Sharp now the leading receiver with 7 catches for Denver as Maddox throws up the Hail Mary, and Sharp had his hands on it. He was in front of J.D. Williams. Mark Jackson was there as well. Sharp, a 6'2" basketball player as well, and using his body to shield and try to leap in front. That play usually works when somebody deflects it off, and the Ahmad Rashads of the world are waiting there fortuitously to catch a 6-pointer.
He will forever be remembered for that catch up in Minnesota. And usually defensive coaches tell their players to knock the ball straight down to the ground. Don't try to tip it up in the air. Don't try to catch it. Just knock it into the turf.
Moore slipping as he threw. Is it a catch? No signal yet. Apparently it is to Cedric Tillman at the 27-yard line, 26-yard line. First down. Clock is running though. 32, 31.
I think he caught it.
And Moore downs the ball to stop the clock. 27 seconds.
Now who will come in? Will Moore stay in, or will Tommy Maddox come in? Well, Maddox is getting the information from Dan Reeves, turning it over to the natural.
Dan Reeves, typical of his style, battling right down to that final bite on the clock. How would you like to play golf? He loves golf. He's a 7-handed. Mike Ditka and Dan Reeves, they play against each other often. I'd like to just look in on that sometime. I'll caddy.
I've heard they have to.
Maddox gets out of trouble, but a flag down. Sharp again. Well, he just, even when he's covered, able to maneuver himself in a position to make a catch, as he's shown throughout this game.
When you mentioned that golf game between Ditka and Reeves, when you talk to Reeves, he says, oh, that Ditka, he's too competitive on the golf course. You talk to Ditka, Ditka says, oh, that Dan Reeves, he's too competitive on the golf course. So.
Well, the penalty goes against the Broncos, and it isn't for out of bounds.
Holding, offense, penalties decline. 15-yard pace pass. Offense number 67 is accepted. 15-yard penalty, second down.
They should take time off the clock here, Dick. They can't leave it at 19. Offensive penalty inside the last. The referee has the choice as to how much time to run off the clock.
But that was an incomplete pass. Doug Weidel with the penalty.
But I don't think you can buy time whether the clock is running or not.
Since the play is an incomplete pass, you can't double penalize. You give them the penalty on yardage, but you can't also take a 10. Had it been a running play and the clock stopped, then you take 10 seconds off the clock as well. Heisman Award to follow. This game running late. Those of you just tuning in to see the announcement live of the 92 winner. We'll switch you immediately to the Downtown Athletic Club at the conclusion of this game. 18, 17, 16 seconds to go. Moore deflected around and might have been intercepted. It was by the Buffalo Bills. Mark Kelso gets his third. He got too early in the first period. That's number 3. All off Sean Moore. principal candidates for the 1992 Heisman Award. I don't know if they're being announced now, and that's the applause, or whether or not the folks are applauding that this game's almost over, so we can go to the Heisman. We'll be right with you, folks. Jim Lampley there in your picture will be the host of that fine affair. So Buffalo takes it over at the 3. It'll just be a kneel-down academy. It's over. Kelso with 3 interceptions. Likeable young choir boy looks of Mark Kelso. William and Mary, who's done a solid job as the free safety. He indeed is just that, the safety man. Playing it deep. Kelly with protection kneels down, and that'll do it here in Buffalo, where the Bills stay in contention for the AFC East. They stay in contention for home field advantage, and Thurman Thomas was the man who led the way in offense. Kelso with 3 interceptions on defense. It spells a 27-17 win over outman Denver, but the Broncos made it a fight. For Bob Trumpy, Dick Enberg, we take you out of the Downtown Athletic Club and Jim Lampley.
All right, thank you very much, Dick Enberg. Sorry for trying to jump the gun there, but it's my privilege now to be live at the Downtown Athletic Club, where within the next several minutes, we're going to find out who has won the Heisman Trophy for 1992. Will it be sophomore running back Marshall Faulk of San Diego State, or junior running back Garrison Hurst of the University of Georgia, or senior quarterback Gino Torretta of the University of Miami, or perhaps some other candidate whose victory today will surprise us all? The Heisman Trophy for 1992, the live award ceremony coming up next on NBC Sports.